This is a Miami Sports Music Podcast Network production. This is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers, let's go.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter collar. Whole squad been trained to go. Been for life, we throw the folk. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and this is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. I'm your host, Stephen D. You can follow me on all social media at Stephen D SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Super excited to be hanging out with you on today, Monday, March the 20th of the year 2023. Hanging out with y'all right here on the Miami Sports Music YouTube channel this morning. Want to say good morning to my Finlaws and my family, that is with a PH. Super excited that y'all are hanging out. We got a lot of stuff to get to. Big weekend in the world of sports. Big weekend in NFL free agency. A lot of former Miami Dolphins news over the past 48 to 72 hours. We just had some big news drop in the last 10 minutes with the Dolphins officially exercising Tua's 5th-year option today. We already knew that news was coming down the pipe. That had already been announced, but it's official today, so we're going to talk about that as well. A lot of stuff to get into this morning, okay? You guys can follow Miami Sports Music everywhere at Miami Sports Music, except on Twitter, where we're at MIA Sports Music. Want to remind y'all of that, okay? Also, hey, look, if you want to hit that like button on your way in, it helps. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Just hit that like button. It's such a big deal. It helps the channel grow, and it helps the channel move forward, which is what we're trying to do here at the MSM Podcast Network. Also, hey, look, if you want to sign up and become a member today, sign up, become part of the family. Make sure y'all do that today. Sign up today, become an official part of the family by becoming a member of the channel. There's lots of different ways and things that you get. You can join the channel, get access to perks, but most importantly, you get a chance to, show the channel that you watch on a morning in, morning out basis, your support on a monthly basis. So you guys join this channel to get access to perks. I just put the link in the chat below. It definitely helps. It goes such a long way into helping the channel grow. Another way to do it, if you don't want to do it on a monthly basis, you can also do YouTube. You can help the channel grow by donating by using the YouTube Super Chat. A couple different ways you can do that. You can use the YouTube Live Super Chat or Super Sticker. The $ below the bottom of the chat on YouTube. Just click it. Put whatever number you got, put a message in or put a super sticker in saying good job or fins up or whatever it is. And you can help grow the channel by that way. You can also help grow the channel by donating. If you're rewatching this on replay and you're not watching us live right now, using the YouTube Super Thanks. What is the YouTube Super Thanks, Stephen? It has got it's got a heart logo with a $ in the middle. You can hit that too if you're rewatching this on replay. And you can donate to the channel and help it go. Again, it goes such a long way. If you don't want to use YouTube because YouTube takes out too many fees on our end, obviously, you can use Cashapp or PayPal. You can use $MSM Podcast Network, or use the QR code right up on your screen, or you can use MSM Podcast Network, or use the QR code right on your screen. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsors of the show, ZSM Sports. ZSM Sports is the #1 place to get your cards, jerseys, balls, hard to find items. ZSM Sports is the place to get it. Make sure you follow them today on Instagram at SportsZSM. Hangry Owls, good food, good mood, craft subs and salads. Give them a call at 305-279-5332. Hangry Owls today, the best subs in South Florida. They're located in Pembroke Pines. If you're in the South Florida area, you need something good to eat, go to Hangry Owls. Great stuff, okay? Vasasaur. We love some Vasasaur. It is a brewery located in Wynwood, Miami, Florida. Make sure you guys check them out. Born and raised the official beer of Clock Blockers. It is a beer that was created for the fans by the fans, which is what we are here at the Podcast Network, a network that was made by a fan for the fans. So Vasasor, we love them. They're absolutely amazing, and they're such a great partner to have with us here at the Podcast Network. A great place to sit.com. Great place to sit.com. You guys need tickets to anything, concert, sports, theater. A great place to sit.com is the place to go. Give them a call at 954-989-7979. Use the code word DWA and get 5% off on your tickets. The link is in the description below to a great place to sit.com. But if you call them and give them the code word DWA, you'll get an additional 5% off. So make sure y'all do that. Concerts, sporting events, theater, anywhere around the world, great place to sit.com is the place to go. And last but not least, Tail Greeter. We love Tail Greeter. Why? Because Tail Greeter has the best tailgates all around. Download the app today on your current Apple or Android device today. A lot of good stuff that we got going on there. And yeah, I do want to remind you guys a couple things about Tail Greeter in Miami Sports Music. We are going to have a stadium tour next year, a tailgate stadium tour. We're going to have 3 big events at away games for the Miami Dolphins next year. So all my Miami Dolphin fans, wherever you're at across the world, hey, I'm thinking about going to an away game. Well, we got 3 options for you. Let me tell you what they are. We got the FedEx Takeover that will be happening in Washington, D.C. this year. Let me tell you, this weekend, my good friend Ryan Keeling, who's the president of the Valley Fanatics fan club, we went out to a couple different places in Miami, in Washington, D.C. For the FedEx Takeover. We met with a couple bars, restaurants, places for some charity events. We scoped out some hotels. We ate a lot of food. It was a good time. And I think we got a lot of stuff planned out. The tailgate is the only other thing that we're fixing on that. But let me tell you, DC, it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And I can tell you right now, if you're, looking at airline prices about getting into DC, we're going to be closer to all the festivities of everything that we're going to do, the meet and greet, the charity event that we're going to be having, hopefully with a former big, not just a small former Miami Dolphin, a big name former Miami Dolphin that we're talking to right now. A lot of the festivities are going to be happening near Reagan. So I know there's 2 airports into DC, 2 big ones, Dulles and Reagan. Look for flights into Reagan because that's where we're going to be in that area. So right there at the Pentagon and all the memorials, the Washington Monument, we're going to be in the heart of DC. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. And I'm super stoked about it. It was a lot of fun hanging out there this weekend and getting all that stuff done. If you're looking at another couple places to go, Philadelphia, Philly Finvasion, we're going to be doing. We're actually going to Philadelphia, hopefully in the next few weekends. We're going to be scoping the stuff out for Philadelphia. We're going to be going to eat some cheesesteaks. I'm excited about it. But we're going to be doing the Philly Finvasion in Philadelphia. That's going to be awesome. And then obviously the Baltimore, if you're planning on coming to Baltimore again, the Baltimore Beatdown 2023. We had one last year here in Baltimore. We had 150 amazing tailgaters, a great meet and greet the night before, and we expect even a bigger event this year with Jimmy's Famous Seafood, who we've already talked to. They're down to have us again. It's going to be an awesome, wonderful, amazing time. So we got a lot of cool stuff, and I'm doing all the legwork. It's going to be good stuff. You think that I try to just put this together last minute? No, it is March. It was March 18th, and I was doing recon and research to how to make this event awesome for you, the fans. So please keep that in the back of your mind. The FedEx Takeover, the Philly Finvasion, and the Baltimore Beatdown 2023. Going to be good times. Be prepared for a meet and greet the night before, the tailgate the morning of, and it's going to be good stuff. It's going to be good stuff, and hopefully we can expect 3 Dolphins wins there too. So I'm excited about it. All right, what's going on? How's everybody doing today? What'd y'all do this weekend? Let me say hello to people in the chat. I haven't said hello to people in the chat yet. Manalo's up in here. Noob. Good morning, Noob. How are you? Chef Zhu is in the building. OG, triple OG. Scott Paulus is in the building. Adam Sadowski, good morning. Lewis A. What is up, Lewis? My brother from another mother. Love that guy. Good morning, everybody. And Sir Stephen D. Urkel. What is up, Wayne D. Experience? How are you, my friend? Zachary Pedre. How about them Canes, Stephen D? Hey, man, going to the Sweet 16, baby. Going to the Sweet 16. I watched You know what's funny? For those of you that don't know, I haven't gambled in over 5.5 years. I used to be big into March Madness. I mean, we're talking about when I used to have a 9 to 5. I would take, when I was still gambling at the time, I would take off the first 3 or 4 days of the tournament, go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'd have 10, brackets and plus my fantasy, stuff at the end there, because fantasy was pretty starting to be pretty big at that time, like DraftKings and all that, and FanDuel. And so I used to have, it was big for me. So I still watch March Madness, but I wait till it gets towards the end. But I kept up with it the whole weekend. And then yesterday I watched a lot. I watched a lot of March Madness yesterday. I watched the FDU FAU game because it was weird because I like FAU. They're right there in the South Florida area. We want to root for them. We want to see how far they can get. But FDU was number 16. And I felt like, man, that would have been something to see a 16 seed go to the Sweet 16. But FAU, shout out to them. They beat FDU. They will be going to the Sweet 16. They will be going to New York City to Madison Square Garden. I think they're going to be facing Tennessee, if I'm correct. I could be wrong about that. But nonetheless, that's going to be a lot of fun. And then Miami won last night too. They look good. They didn't have a lot of offense in the first game the other day, but they had the defense to show up. And last night the offense showed up. And let me tell you, Miami can easily make a run at this thing. I think they're one of the most offensive wise in the tournament. They got to be one of the scariest teams. They have to be. Miami looks good. So shout out to the Miami men's team. I think the Miami women's team also advanced, if I'm correct. I could be wrong about that. I need to go back and look. But nonetheless, I know the Miami men's team looked absolutely amazing, and I'm super excited to see what happens. I think the resumes back on Wednesday, if I'm correct. I think they play again on Wednesday, so we'll see what happens there. Sweet 16. Look, I'll be honest with you. I think that Miami can make the Final Four, but a lot of things need to happen. They got to win the Sweet 16. They got to beat the Elite Eight, and then they can get into the Final Four. So we'll see how it goes. It should be a lot of fun. Thursday is when they play, not Wednesday. But I think Wednesday is when the Sweet 16 starts. So should be a lot of fun, man. We'll see what happens. UConn looks good too. I see S. Harris in the chat. UConn all day. UConn looked good, man. It was a great first weekend of the tournament. Other things that kind of happened over the weekend, the World Baseball Classic ramped up in Miami. Let me tell you, a lot of fun, a lot of craziness that has gone down in the World Baseball Classic over the last week. Players getting hurt that have multi-million-dollar contracts with teams in New York like the Mets. Mets fans pissed off that the World Baseball Classic is going down, but the atmosphere's been crazy. The team of Dominican Republic and Venezuela out, gone. Puerto Rico gone, all out of the tournament. I mean, we're talking devastating lineups. All-star teams. Point-blank all-star, great lineups. Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, gone. Didn't even make it. Last night, Cuba faced the USA. USA killed them 14-2. 14-2. USA just looked absolutely amazing last night. Nolan Arenado did get hurt, the third baseman and star player for the St. Louis Cardinals, but let me tell you, all the x-rays came back negative. He does have a chance to play. But tonight, I believe, is Mexico versus Japan. So we could have a Shohei Ohtani versus Mike Trout final, USA versus Japan. Mexico is very, very interesting that they made it this far. The atmosphere when they were playing in Phoenix, amazing. I don't know what it'll be like seeing, the Mexican fan base show up to Miami, but it'll be an interesting one nonetheless. What I will say is this, and watching the World Baseball Classic over the last week, being a South Florida guy and loving South Florida and knowing, Miami's won 2 World Series, the Florida Marlins, right? 97, 2003. They've won games, but even when they were winning World Series, they had a difficult time selling out certain stadiums. They did at that time. But they've always had a problem selling tickets down there. But it's so funny because there's such a big fan base of, the Venezuelan fan base, the Cuban fan base, the Dominican Republic fan base. Those stadiums were rocking. The stadium was rocking this last week. And Marlins front office people have to look at that and say, man, if the World Baseball Classic can get that kind of turnout and sell out stadiums and the atmosphere look at some of the games were looking like World Cup atmosphere, singing, dancing, horns, everything. It was wild. And I would love to see the Marlins have an atmosphere like that. And I think if they put a winning product on the field, that they could. So I would love to see the Marlins turn into a perennial contender. And I think that the fan base is obviously there in Miami, but you have to put a winning product on the field. And if they do that, I think that the fans will come watch Marlins games. You have to. So, and it's there. There's too many, and I think something else that they need to consider too is getting, Venezuelan, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic born players to Miami to build up their fan base for the Marlins so that those people that love their national baseball, they'll have the players there for the Marlins. So I think that's something they need to look into. It makes such a big sense from a marketing standpoint. But I would love to. The stadium has looked amazing over the last couple of days. If you're asking me who I want to win tonight between Mexico and Japan, I'm going to go with Japan just because I want to see Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout in the final. I think it'd be awesome. And the atmosphere would be crazy for, a championship game, USA versus Japan. So that's ultimately what I'm thinking I'd like to see. So we'll have to see what happens. But if Mexico does make it, Mexico versus USA final will be fun too. I'm sure it will be. So tonight, I believe Japan faces Mexico at 7 p.m. if I'm correct. This should be a good game. Make sure you guys check it out. I believe the game is on. It's either on Fox or FS1. Either way, it's going to be a great weekend or week for baseball. So enough about baseball. Enough about basketball. One last thing I'll just say. NASCAR yesterday in Atlanta. If you guys watch or into NASCAR real quick, and I'll get to the football in a second and the Dolphins, just bear with me. I just want to do a recap of the weekend. Crazy weekend. A lot of rain in Atlanta. NASCAR was in Atlanta this weekend. The Truck Series raced, the Xfinity Series raced, and obviously the Cup Series. And rain happened, so there was no qualifying on Friday. The truck race happened on Saturday. The Xfinity race happened on Saturday. There was like 3 or 4 drivers that raced in both. Those races broke the wreck record. Say that 5 times fast. At the track. Had the most amount of wrecks in the truck race. They broke the record in Atlanta for the Atlanta track, and most amount of wrecks in the Xfinity race in Atlanta. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, that's probably going to be a sign of things to come for the Cup race, who, by the way, the spring race and the fall race last year for the Cup Series had a lot of wrecks too. There was 3 cautions, I believe 3 cautions yesterday for the Cup race, which sucked if you're a Bubba Wallace fan, because he wrecked on lap 11. And the way that this new track is designed, that if you take a green flag pit stop, you're going to be down 2 laps automatically, the way that they had everything set up. It was very interesting. It wasn't like a normal Atlanta race, personally. It was totally different than what I remember old Atlanta. They redid the Atlanta track. It's totally different than what it used to be. And I have to say, I wasn't a huge fan of the race yesterday. Was not a huge fan of the race. Dolphin Don said Ross Chastain is making no friends. So it's too funny. My wife likes Ross Chastain a lot. Ross Chastain for Trackhouse Racing, also owned by Pitbull, co-owned by Pitbull. But it's funny that you say that, Dolphin Don, because I, like Denny Hamlin and the Toyota team, and him and Ross have this battle. And so last week, Denny Hamlin purposely takes Ross out as he's, his tires getting cut down. Ross is right next to him. He's like, well, if I'm going to the back of the field, you're coming with me. And then on his podcast says, yeah, I wrecked Ross Chastain. He had it coming. And Ross in the post race, when those two are standing next to each other, Ross goes to Denny, I guess I had that coming. Ross is like, or Denny's like, yeah, you did. And so they allegedly, hey, bygones be bygones. We've done this before. What does Ross do yesterday? Wrecks half the entire field. and then says, "Oh, I didn't touch anybody." You can clearly see on the replay that Ross did. So, yeah, I don't know what Ross Chastain's doing except pissing off half of NASCAR. I want to see the man healthy. I don't want to see the man hurt. But if the man gets wrecked 50 million times this year, I'm not going to be upset. And he deserves everything that's coming for him. And I hope half the field wants to wreck him the rest of the year. Yes, I said it. Yes, I'm a hater of Ross Chastain. Can't stand that guy. And my wife loves him. And so every day she's like, how's it doing? How's Ross doing? How's Chastain, watermelon man? So anyways, that's my NASCAR stuff. I'm a big NASCAR fan. But it was boring yesterday. I didn't like the race. I did not like the race. It was a lot of single file racing, no wrecks. And I was very surprised because it was totally different than the rest of the weekend that we saw in the truck in the Xfinity Series. But and then the Xfinity Series, real quick. This is the last thing I'll say. There's a racer, number 92, Josh Williams. NASCAR, his car got wrecked. And so he's got stuff flying off of his car, allegedly, right? And what you do is normally when for your non-NASCAR fans, you try to tape your car up as best as you can to get it back on the track to finish the race, right? Sponsor dollars, you want to get every position you can because the higher your position is, the more money you get, it all helps. Josh Williams gets in a wreck. They tape up his car. And this guy, so NASCAR tells him while he's on the track during a caution, park your car. You're done for the day. Like your car's too damaged to go. What did this guy do? I lie to you not. He parked his car at the start-finish line on the track, got out of the car, waved to the crowd, and walked off and left his car parked on the track at the start-finish line. Hashtag boss move. Loved it. The guy's going to get suspended, and he's going to get fined. But I thought it was awesome. I was like, this dude just said, okay, you just told me to park. They told me to park my car. I did. I didn't move it. But I thought it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So if you guys want to go see that, go check that out on social media. The guy, it's like a 1.5-minute long video. He straight parked his car, Josh Williams, Xfinity, at the start-finish line, turned to the crowd, said peace. And Trucker Sean said Hamlin said he'd pay his fine. There were a lot of NASCAR drivers that said, man, that was a boss move. So I thought it was hilarious. So shout out to Josh Williams. I'm going to try to get him on the show. I actually reached out to him about getting him on the show because I thought it was a boss move. All right. Enough about NASCAR. Enough about NCAA tournament. Enough about all that. Let's get into the weekend that was. A lot of things went down. We're going to get into the Tua talk. Don't worry about that. I don't want you to think I forgot about it or anything. But a lot of things happened over the last 72 hours in NFL free agency. And I think it's worth mentioning for a couple of different reasons. Number one, there's a lot of former Miami Dolphins out in the free agent world of the NFL this year. People that have played on this team a couple of years ago, last year, a few years back. And so I just kind of want to get an update because some of them are loved in the Dolphins community. Some of them are, you know what? Hey, it'd be cool to see where they went. So I don't know if everybody got kind of an update, but there's a few players I want to talk about. One of them was Matt Collins. Matt Collins, former tight end / wide receiver of the Miami Dolphins, left last year to go to Vegas. I thought it was a really great move for his career last year to go to Vegas. I wanted to see him back in a Dolphins uniform. Loved the guy. Loved his energy. Thought he was just a great locker room guy. He brought a lot of spontaneity and just fun into the clubhouse from everything that I've been told. And we remember seeing like him walking to the stadium in like a different getup every week. And so I was a big Matt Collins fan. But last free agency came about. We obviously make the trade for Tyreek Hill. We got Jalen Waddle. There's just not a lot of room for him to get a lot of catches on this team. And I knew that, especially with Gesicki had staying here one more year. So when he signed with Vegas last year, I was like, man, that's the move for him. He's going to be right behind Devontae Adams. He's going to be able to, compete for number 2 along with Waller and Hunter Renfrow. I think it would give him a big opportunity to make that next step in his career. And last year, he only had 57 catches for 690 yards. Now, it was his career highlight, but I thought he had a lot more opportunity to do a lot more things. But he ends up going back in free agency this year. They couldn't get him back. And so, this past weekend, Somebody had mentioned, hey, Matt Collins is still available. And I'm like, you know what? That'd be a good pickup for Miami. We can get him on the cheap. Well, he ends up signing a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons this weekend. And believe it or not, I actually think it's a pretty good deal for him. Who knows what the quarterback situation is going to be like there. Desmond Ridder and Tyler Heineke also going there as well. But I do believe that Matt Collins will have another big year. For my fantasy football people out there, he's probably going to be competing for the number 1 position, at least the number 2. I'm excited to see what Matt Collins does in Atlanta. I think his career will obviously go better. Personally, I think that's how it'll be. So we'll have to see, what happens there. The other person that I thought was really big too, and I'm just throwing up the thumbnail of today's show on the screen. The punter situation. And I know we kind of briefly touched on it last, but there was such a big, I don't even know the adjective I should use, but I know the outcry from the Dolphins fan base about the whole punter situation over the last 72 hours. So here's what I know. Okay. Thomas Morstead publicly came out at the end of when the season was over and said, hey, look, talk to my family. I do want to play another year. Everything and all signs had pointed that he was going to come back, that this was a no-brainer. Something broke down in negotiations. If there was ever an official offer on the table, I have no idea. All I know is that next thing I heard is that he was in New York visiting the Jets. And the Jets didn't let him leave. The Jets did not let him leave. They're like, we're keeping you. You're coming here. And so, it was on Miami at that point to be able to figure out, well, what do they need to do to make this thing better? And so they go out and go get the Patriots punter coming off an injury who had made the Pro Bowl the year before. And it's just interesting because I thought Morstead wanted to play one more year. Why would you go to another team? But all I could think of is either he was asking for too much money, and I put that in quotations, and Greer was like, well, we can get just as a productive player at a cheaper rate, or he had a falling out with the front office because I don't see any other reason for him to leave. I don't. Am I upset by it? No, I'm not upset. I'm not furious by the move. I think at the end of the day, I expected Morstead to come back and had no other reason to think that it would be different. And so the fact that he went to the Jets made it even more upsetting because I hate the Jets more than I hate anybody. So for me, it was 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Okay, you get rid of Morstead, but you bring in Bailey, guy from New England who has a Pro Bowl background, who's been a top punter in this league. And when he's healthy, he's one of the best punters in the league. But as we all know, Chris Greer will easily take a flyer on an injured player really quickly and see what they have left in the tank. So I hope that we don't have to punt next year. There was a game last year where Morstead sat on the bench, didn't have to punt. I think it was the Cleveland game. Ultimately, I'm happy for him. Good luck for him. I don't understand. And Noob said in a Jersey radio interview, he said the Dolphins don't have home fans. He wanted excitement. He thinks he's going to get that in New York. After the first quarter, the fans are going to leave. I've been to every Jets-Dolphins game like the last 4 or 5 years in a row. Let me tell you, by halftime, they're gone. And especially by the third quarter, it's all Dolphins fans in that stadium. So, although last year was different. But neither here or there. They beat us with a third string. Who cares? And then we ended up beating them the last week at home anyway. So whatever. Jets suck. That's all I know. I hate the Jets. If you hate the Jets, hit the like button. If you hate the Jets, donate to the channel. If you hate the Jets, share the link. Let people know that we're here. Let's go. My Buffalo Bills fans that are in there, the Patriots fans that are in the chat, we all hate the Jets. We all have this comment. We just all hate the Jets. Okay? We can all come together and hit the like button for hating the Jets. Let's go. Okay? All right. Anyways, so that happened over the weekend. Another thing that happened over the weekend that was I don't want to say was necessarily surprising. And we kind of already briefly touched on it. Laramie Tunsil. Laramie Tunsil, obviously the man who should get a statue outside of the Miami Dolphins stadium for many different reasons, and his bong mash should go in the Hall of Fame as far as I'm concerned. Allegedly had said that he was, or that let me rephrase this. The Texans said that every player is available, right? Brandon Cooks obviously gets traded. Brandon Cooks has been traded 4 times. Could not believe that. For all quality stuff, by the way. Mostly, like, this is the worst trade he's ever been traded for in his career, but he's been traded for a couple first rounds, couple second rounds, couple third rounds, couple fourth rounds. That man's been traded for a bag of balls, former players, former Pro Bowl. That man has been traded for literally half the league, okay? But I'm thinking to myself, well, that means Laramie Tunsil's available. And apparently he was. Well, what does Laramie Tunsil do? Just renegotiates himself to make him the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL all over again in the history of the NFL. The last time he went to Houston, got traded to them, negotiated the contract to be the highest paid offensive lineman at the time in the NFL, and now he does it again. So he's done it twice. By the way, Laramie represents himself. So for everybody that's giving crap to Lamar Jackson for representing himself up in Baltimore, go look at what Laramie Tunsil did in Houston, representing himself. I don't know what this says about agents. I don't know what this says about agents representing players and how agents view it and how players now view agents. But you don't need an agent to get the highest paid contract in the NFL. Don't let that narrative fool you with the Lamar Jackson case. You just got to know how to obviously represent yourself and do it. Now, I don't know what's up with Lamar and the Ravens and that whole situation, and I'm not necessarily wanting to get into conversation of that. What I mean is Laramie Tunsil twice has negotiated the highest paid contract of an offensive lineman in the history of the NFL. He ends up extending, I think he got $50 million guaranteed. I mean, it's unbelievable. Did I want Miami to go after him? Of course I did. It would be a dream to see Laramie come back and then for us to win a Super Bowl. But I don't know if I wanted to pay him what Houston ultimately paid him. That's crazy money. Crazy money. By the way, very surprised that Houston did it because Houston is rebuilding. It's not like they have an all-pro quarterback that they're, trying to make this Super Bowl run. So I was very surprised that Laramie ultimately signed, but I don't think you could turn down the money. They made him the highest paid player in the game at his position. So congratulations to Laramie Tunsil. I'm glad you got the bag for a second time, but I would like you one day to come back to Miami as a player and help us win a Super Bowl. And maybe that still happens next year. I don't know, but we'll see. Nonetheless, he got the bag. He represented himself. Good for him. And then obviously I already kind of talked about this, Mike Gesicki going to the Patriots. Not upset by the move. Gesicki, I knew at the end of the year, I said he's going to go to Belichick. Belichick's going to know exactly how to use him. Let's not hate on the man. Let's not be upset that he signed with another team. Let's call a spade a spade. Miami had a great talent within Gesicki, but we never utilized him in the offense that McDaniel runs. Good, bad, or indifferent. And we all know his shortcomings of being a good or a bad blocker, right? I think he was one of the worst blocking tight ends ever in the history of the NFL. Numbers obviously show that. But what I will say is, I think he's going to, I don't know how the Patriots are going to do this upcoming season. I know they're making some moves here. We're going to talk about the rumor mill in a minute. Patriots are obviously trying to compete with the rest of the AFC East. Belichick's not happy when he's looking up at the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins making trades, making free agent signings. What do I need to do to compete? But Gesicki going to New England, hot take, and I know it's not Hot Take Tuesday, he will have a career year there, barring any health complications. As long as he's healthy, okay? I want to put that caveat on it. Don't care who the quarterback is there, whatever. Gesicki will have a career year, a career record-breaking setting year. Like, he's going to do very well. I don't think that's automatically translates the New England Patriots to wins on paper. I'm just telling you, I believe he's going to have a really good year. And ultimately, it's because we haven't utilized him the way that he fully should have been utilized during his career here. And maybe that's bad on us, but at the end of the day, he's going to do very well up there because there's nobody else up there. Don't care that Juju Smith-Schuster's up there. Don't care that what's his face is up there. Number one, Devontae Parker's up there. So we'll see. I didn't say that. Jose says I said that last year too. No, I didn't. I never said that Gesicki would. I said if we utilized him properly, he'd have an opportunity to have a career in touchdowns. We did not utilize him properly. Next year, he's going to get the yards. He's going to get first downs. He's going to get touchdowns because there's no other weapons in New England. So I think obviously he will. He won't have a career year. I promise he will be their number one option, and he will lock down easy. He gets zero separation. Call it what you want. I mean, he's going to get looked at a hell of a lot more than he did down here. But nonetheless, I mean, that's kind of the moves, that happened over the weekend. Some that I was, very surprised in, some I wasn't. But ultimately, it was interesting, to say the least. Landon Roberts, also former Miami Dolphin, Von Joe's favorite player. Von Joe, a listener here. One of the best listeners on the podcast. I'm not going to say the best, but he's one of the best. We like Von Joe. He's crazy. But his favorite player was Landon Roberts. We all know that. I'm not being sarcastic in any way. But he signed a 2-year deal with the Steelers. And, ultimately, I think it was a really, really good deal for him. We didn't have to pay him what that was. And ultimately, we got David Long, which I think works out a hell of a lot better for us. So, good luck to a Landon. Thank you for your couple of years here. Have fun in Pittsburgh. I ain't mad at you, cuz. Go get the bag. Go get your money. So that's the news about former players. And I know there was a couple of former players, obviously stuck in their situations and moved on. And we're going to see more stuff. I was watching some XFL last night. Heard a couple former Dolphins last night. Reed Sinnett got hurt playing for San Antonio Brahmas, however you say their name. Kalen Ballage, I heard, in the XFL last night. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there in the XFL with some of those former players. Not with former Dolphins players, but nonetheless, there was some good players last night. I was like, oh, man, that guy looks good. I'd be interested to see. It's so funny watching the XFL and the USFL with some of these guys. Can they translate that game to the NFL? There have been players that have done it. But it doesn't happen often. So I'd be interested to know, what do you guys think about? Have you guys watched any of the XFL? Do you think that any player can translate that game to have a successful NFL career? Are scouts looking at those guys closely? I don't know. A lot of these guys are 25, 26, 27, 28, some even in the 30s. I don't know if they can. I don't know if that game in the XFL can translate to success or making a 53-man roster in the NFL. Just wanted to throw that out while I was watching a little bit of that game last night of the Arlington Renegades and the San Antonio Brahmas. I was watching a little bit of that last night. But enough about all that. Big news out of Miami this morning. We all knew this was coming down the pipe. It was announced last week. Miami picks up the 5th-year deal on Tua. They exercised the 5th-year option. I think it's a great move by the Dolphins for many reasons. Not for the simple fact of I'm a Tua guy or I'm not a Tua guy. I think this makes the most sense for the Dolphins. Next year, I think his cap hit will be like 20-something mil, 23 mil. It allows the Dolphins that if Tua does have a successful year, and notice I said the words if, okay? If he has a successful year, it allows the Dolphins to keep a top-tier quarterback under $30 million, ultimately, right? And I think that you get him this year for $8 or $9 million. You get him next year for 23. I think this is a best-case scenario for the Dolphins and a dream scenario for the Dolphins, crossing my fingers, okay? We all hope, even if you are anti-Tua, even if you cannot stand Tua, you're a Tua hater. this is the best opportunity and the best advantage that the Dolphins will get put in. Who cares about the dead cap money if he doesn't work out? Okay. If there's dead cap money there, so be it, whatever. But you should hope and pray that Tua works out, that he stays healthy, and that the Dolphins make a run at this thing. That should be everybody's best hope. You don't have to believe in it. Just root for it. Root for that to happen. And so ultimately, that's what I want to kind of talk about today with some of the fan base is, I talked about Thomas Morstead getting signed by the Jets and there being this big outcry in the fan base on social media, on Twitter, on YouTube. Why? I don't know any other fan base that loses their mind about a punter going to another team. I don't know any other fan base where they take their quarterback and he is the cause of so much division within a team. We've had this conversation multiple times on this platform. But I know that it's relevant because we in the last 72 hours have cried, some of us, not all of us, and I use that word loosely, that we lost our punter. And now we are exercising a 5th-year deal, which ultimately is the smart move for the organization to make. You don't have to like the move, but it's the smartest move because if it works out, it financially helps the Dolphins move forward and keeps that Super Bowl winning window open. So why are fans upset? Why are fans mad? Why are fans complaining? It's absurd to me, the conversations that I have had with fans behind closed doors over the last week because we're not being aggressive. Look, I can admit last week on Friday and on Thursday, I was like, man, I am a little nervous about them not making moves on the offensive line. I think there should be some nervousness there, right? But ultimately, as the more I think about it, I'm like, man, this is opening week of free agency. There's still a lot of free agents left to be had. People are going to be waiting for the draft, so there's going to be a lot of free agents that are going to be out there. Are they people that are going to be of quality on the O-line? I don't know. I know that some people want to say, oh, man, what's up with this, bargain style, flea market type of shopping to the O-line. I don't know about that. You want to have a debate about the O-line, by all means, I am all for it, and I'm all for critiquing it and being critical about it. But every other move that I believe the Dolphins have made so far, I think are above and beyond expectations and exactly what a franchise should do that is trying to make a run at being a great team, not just a competitive team, a great team within the NFL. I don't understand how fans, if they really think about it subjectively, don't see it other than that. You don't have to agree with it, but you do have to admit, hey, the team's moving in the same direction. They all seem to be on the same page. I question the offensive line moves, but man, everything else I can totally see. I can see if you run it back with the running backs, as long as you upgrade the O-line, which again, we all have question marks about. I'm not mad at it. If you don't run the offensive line and you don't go out and get a bell cow running back, that's a legitimate debate that I understand fans having. But to complain about the punter leaving, come on now, guys. Let's be real. Let's be real. To complain about bringing in Matt Moore as a backup, he's just there as insurance. Pray to God we don't have to use him, but a couple of times. Hopefully not at all, but minimum a couple of times. J.R. Black says, Stephen, too many non-educated football channels leading to Dolphins fan with their 1995 negative bias. Love being scared and always wanting to be in rebuilding mode. Fair. It's kind of funny you say 1995 negative bias because I've had a lot of conversations with the older fan base. No offense to the older fan base. And I make jokes lightly. Understand that, I've talked with them and I said, have Dolphin fans always been this negative or have they been this biased? And a lot of them did say in the mid-90s there was a big the fan base was very split, but you didn't hear it because there was no social media. There was no other public outlets. There was a chat room on the internet, but that's about as far as you went. And you got your news from Dolphins Digest, and that's kind of how it went. But the fan base, obviously, in the mid-'90s, didn't know what, Marino was going to do, or, didn't understand if Marino should still be there, or Don Shula should retire, or Jimmy Johnson was the guy. I personally have never seen a winning franchise myself. But I will say that I think that this team is in the best position they've been in since I can remember, personally. Pete's Take says, Steven, what if an 87-year-old said that he waited so long? What about the seniors? Why are all y'all under 30 always so patient? Mr. Fracchetti needs one now. I need one now. And I'm not under 30, by the way. Okay, I'm in my mid-30s. But understand this. I do believe that the Dolphins are in the best position that they've been in the last 25 years. I do believe that the Dolphins front office and coaching staff are all on the same page, and ownership seem to all be on the same page. Publicly, they look on the same page, and the moves that are making seem to me that they're all on the same page. So what's said behind closed doors and what they're doing in public seem to align. I don't know where the disconnect is. I don't know. Lewis says, if you don't believe in this team, go kick rocks. Now, Lewis, I've seen you on social media and some of your crew being very positive, and I appreciate it. And I'm happy for you guys. A lot of haters, Lewis, Thomas Jean says. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the lines. I want to hear from you because I think there's a lot to talk about. I think some people are, feel some type of way about the team, about the fifth-year option of Tua, about the lack of free agent signings on the O-line, about, covering up what the real issues are, by making the trades for Jalen Ramsey. By the way, I think some of what I'm saying is ridiculous, but this is what fans have been telling me for the last week and a half. Hell, for the last couple of years, let alone the last week and a half. But I don't know where the Dolphins go from here, except other than to say, so far what they've done, I'm going to hold on to the faith, and I'm going to keep moving in the direction of a fan that says this team is going to be a contender in 2023. And if you don't think so, I'm sorry that you're on the negative train. And I really feel like that. Now, if come spring training, if come training camp time, they haven't addressed the O-line significantly, I can deal with a little bit of the critical mass of the fan base saying, what are we going to do? We're going to run it back this year with the same offensive line that we had last year and the guys that we did bring in. Look, I want to see Brandon Shell re-signed here. Not going to lie. I'd be upset if he went to Buffalo. I'd feel some type of way about it. I want to know. Ultimately, I want to know. The link is pinned to the top of the chat, the StreamYard link. Click it, get on. I do want to hear from you. Over 190 of y'all watching this morning. Hit the like button. Donate to the channel. Help the channel grow. Only 55 likes. Let's do it. I want to hear from you, Dolphins fans. How are you all acting or feeling today? Are y'all excited? Are y'all mad? Are y'all sick of the fan base being critical? Are you sick of the fan base being negative? Where do you sit? It is Clock Blockers, a show made for the fans by the fans. So that's what I want to hear. I want to hear from you, the fans. Let me hear it right now. Link is pinned to the top of the page, the StreamYard link. Get on. I want to hear from you. Patrick says, I think Braxton Berrios signing is huge for our organization. Very much so, Braxton. There's a lot of layers to the Braxton Berrios signing for me that, to me, just makes so much sense. Number one, he obviously solves a punt return and kick return issue that I believe that we had because we're not willing to put in Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. Okay? Good, bad, or indifferent. I believe he solves that issue there. The other thing that he solves is the opportunity to have a true slot receiver on top of that. Berrios has a lot of raw talent. And if you think about slot receivers or the best slot receivers in the NFL, one of the first people's names that come to your mind is Wes Welker. who is our wide receiver coach. So with Braxton Berrios, who, by the way, is a Miami native, who, by the way, grew up as a Miami Dolphin fan, who, by the way, played at Hard Rock Stadium at the University of Miami, understands the heat, understands the level of playing that you need to have to be successful, just in general as a player, as an athlete. Now he comes down here, gets to play with us, gets to play with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and you put him in the slot. You now get a chance for Eric Ezukama to also learn another year with Wes Welker, another year with somebody like Braxton Berrios. I don't know about you, but I'm excited as all hell to see what this wide receiving core does. To me, it makes a lot of sense. I love the Braxton Berrios signing. I agree with you, Patrick. I think it is a great, great signing. All right, let me bring on my first guest of the day. Solo Boy Zoe, good morning, man. What's going on?
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing, man?
I'm doing, man. It's another beautiful day in Zamunda, as Shake Money would say.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. You right about that. I just came on to say, ain't really too much change about the team. Like, I just see it as we did a couple upgrades on the defensive side and stuff. But after that, if you take a look at it, we ain't really make no offensive moves like that and stuff. We still need to work on the.
I just said it. Braxton Berrios is one, right? Braxton Berrios is one. It's an offensive change.
Now this what I'm gonna say. Like, you think he gonna be able? Like, most likely he gonna start because the people we had before him was garbage, so he gonna start. But like, do you think he gonna make a difference?
I do 100% believe he'll make a difference. He'll have more snaps. He'll have more snaps of being on the field than most of our third or fourth string wide receivers have in the last 2 years. Do I think somebody said, Scott said he'll have less than 30 receptions.
All right, now
snaps wise, he'll be on the field a lot. Reception wise, I don't know. But if you start playing into some of these good defense, look, we play Dallas next year. We're going to play Buffalo next year. We're going to play Sauce Gardner and the Jets next year. So secondary wise, I think it would give him a lot of opportunities because he's going to get the one-on-one battle where Tyreek and Jalen are going to get a majority of the look and coverage on the defensive side of the ball against us, right? So I think that it will. And by the way, I hope that Sherfield comes back too. And I don't know what the deal is with Sherfield. I know he's being looked at by a lot of teams, but we'll have to see what happens with Sherfield.
All right, now all right, let's talk about that right there. Now this how I see it with this guy right here. I just see he like he not even an upgrade. I feel like he a downgrade. Grant. He basically the same player as Grant.
Who, Berrios?
Yeah, ain't no difference. He the same.
We're not expecting him to be Jakeem Grant. You know, when Jakeem Grant was here, there were times during Jakeem Grant's career with Miami, Solo Boy, where we relied on Jakeem to be the number one here. Do you know what the problem with that was? There's a lot of them. There's a lot of layers to that issue. I'm not expecting him to be Jakeem Grant. I'm expecting him ultimately to come in when he's supposed to on punt and kickoff returns, allow us to have a better return game in those two areas where we struggled with the last couple of years, and ultimately have an opportunity to improve upon his slot receiving skills when you have a guy like Wes Welker coaching him.
Okay,
everything points to that he's going to improve.
Now, this what I'm gonna say. Grant. I see what you're saying, but he basically playing the same role Jakeem Grant played. Everything Jakeem Grant did for the team, that's really what he's doing. He's gonna be taking punts and kickoff returns back. He's gonna play the slot.
But Jakeem, there was so many injuries where Jakeem had to be the number one receiver on the field, man.
I agree with you, but the reason why
if that happens for Berrios, things went really wrong with us this year. Everything went wrong if that happens this year.
All right, now this is what I'm gonna say. Instead of them actually picking up him, we should have just went back and got Hollins. When you look at it,
I love Mac Hollins. I wanted him. I thought it would have. Yeah, that would have been a great pickup.
Look how much. Who got him? I think Atlanta got him.
Atlanta got him. Atlanta paid a decent penny for him.
They got him for change. We could have got him back for.
We say change, but we got him a hell of a lot cheaper. We got Berrios a hell of a lot cheaper than what we would have got Mac Hollins for.
All right, now this is what I'm gonna say. Okay, if you had to pick who you think gonna be more productive,
Matt Collins probably will be in Atlanta because he'll have more opportunities
No,
than
but
Berrios will in Miami.
no, this is what I'm saying. On a Miami Dolphins team, with the weapons we got right now, if we had, like right now, when we had Matt Hollins, we didn't have no Tyreek on the team. So now let's put a Matt Hollins in his position with Tyreek and Waddle. Who you think would have been more productive? I think Matt Hollins would have, because without a Tyreek, he had good numbers and stuff like that. So now it's like you bring him back to the same system that he already know.
All right, so Solo, let me school you a little bit here, bud. You're my guy, love you, but listen to me here. We brought in Berrios for pretty much one reason, and hopefully he can turn into something even bigger than that. But we brought him here because of the return game on special teams. Ultimately, that's the biggest reason why he's coming here, right? So aside from that standpoint, he's 10 times better than Matt Collins, okay? He's 10 times better than a lot of return people in the league. So you get to get one of the best returners in the league at the rate, at the price that you're getting him for. Oh, and by the way, he fits the MO of a typical slot receiver, and he has a chance to learn from Wes Welker to see if he can be a really good slot receiver. Oh, yeah. He's also had experience in the NFL being a 2 and 3. Berrios, to me, makes so much sense and was the better signing for the Dolphins. Would I have wanted somebody like Matt Collins, Solo Boy? Of course I did. I said it this weekend. I said it last Friday. Hey, if Matt Collins is willing to come down here on a cheaper rate and come back to Miami, I'd love to see it. But ultimately, same thing as last year, he saw the better opportunity for his career was in Atlanta, and it is for him. He's not going to with Berrios with the opportunities at whatchamacallit, with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, understanding that Berrios and Ezukama and Cedric Wilson at the moment are 3, 4, and 5. And all three of them, hands down, from that standpoint, are probably better or on par with Mac. So you got to worry about ball distribution. Well, Steven, you can move him back to tight end. His playmaking catch abilities are what made him a good player. Ultimately, that's why he went to wide receiver and left the tight end position. We just had a great playmaking tight end. We decided not to keep him because he didn't fit the mold of the offense that we were trying to run. So Matt Collins there was no room on this team for somebody like Matt Collins. Be
All
happy with Berrios, bro. Berrios was the better signing, and it was the smarter one.
Now, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to agree to disagree with you now. Now, the reason why I say that is, all right, one, we already have an issue. All right, first thing first, Berrios is not the best return man on our team, period. He ain't. He probably third. You're
100% right. Behind who? Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
All right,
and
so
you're not.
So not
and as people who argued the world with me last year when I was pounding on Solo. You remember my show last year? Guys, let those guys return kicks. Let them return kicks. Everybody was like, you're not letting all that money that you're paying Tyreek or Jalen, you're not risking it with them. Okay, we'll bring in somebody who can do that. Berrios, you are 100%. That is an accurate statement. He is the third best returner on this team, but he's not a number 1 or a number 2 wide receiver. Jalen Waddle on probably 12 to 15 teams in the NFL, if not more, would be a true number 1. Anywhere else besides Miami with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. And now my second point. All right. Now, height. We got a problem at height. So Hollins would have been good for height. Because look at it. We already done named 3 receivers that they're not even like 6'1", 6'2". So that's a height problem already. And then you already addressed the issue. We haven't even got to our tight end position yet. So even if you would have brought Mike Hollins back, at least he would have played a little like how Gesicki played, but better because you could put him at tight end because he played tight end, and then you could put him at receiver and stuff like that. So like
Solo, Solo, I love you, bro. But Gesicki, we're just going to agree to disagree. And I'm also going to say, go look at the numbers, go look at the talent. I love Mac and I love Gesicki, but Gesicki's the way better talent than Mac is.
I understand that. So that's why I say, since we lost Gesicki now, at least we could have just brought Mac Hollins back. Because like I said, he's familiar with the team. He very familiar with Tua.
He's not familiar with this offense. He never played with this offense.
Who talking about? Mac Hollins?
Yeah, he never played with McDaniel's offense. He played in the previous regime's offense.
Okay, yeah, you're right. But he
totally
played
different.
With Tua. He played with Tua.
Okay, so
Tua's still passing him the ball.
I understand that, but Solo, I cannot believe that I'm getting argued with about Mac Hollins to Braxton Berrios. Is that where we're at?
Let's leave that alone.
Is that what we're doing today?
Okay. No, let's leave that alone now. Let's leave that. That was just a point I brought up and stuff, because I'm just looking at it like, where the height at on the team? We ain't got no height, because we
don't need it.
We don't need height. So when we get in the red zone, we don't need height. Because
I mean, look, here's a thing. One of the reasons that if you are upset about losing Gesicki, you should be, because he is that red zone threat. But ultimately, the goal is we didn't have an issue last year in red zone. We were one of the best red zone teams. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with McDaniel about where's the height when we were one of the best red zone teams in the NFL last year anyway.
I see what you're saying. I understand, but it wasn't because of our receivers. If it was mainly because of our receivers, then, we would have won more games, because we left a lot of points on the table. I'm not
saying that we didn't, but we still were one of the best red zone teams in the NFL last year.
You're right. Half of the points came off of like little gimmick plays,
who cares if it results in touchdowns? I'm good, cuz.
You're right about that. I agree, but the schedule that we got this year, we can't afford to, come on, you playing against Dallas and you're going to run a gimmick play against Parsons? No, that's not working, man.
Yeah, but you also have to admit that last year, one of the things that I'll give a knock on McDaniel for is we should have ran more jet sweeps. Should we have not last year?
Yes, we should have ran a bunch of them.
So you're sitting there talking about gimmick plays. The reality is we should have ran more gimmick plays.
But yeah, I understand that. But you're right. But we were sitting here running bubble plays all day, throwing it out in the flats, and we already know one. We're
not going to sit here and talk about an offense that was one of the most explosive offenses when Tua was in there in all of the NFL.
Okay, now this is
what I'm saying. We're just not going to.
Now listen to what I'm going to say. Now, the reason why the offense was more explosive is because of the wide receivers. When they got the ball, they took it to the house. Okay,
you're
so
correct.
Listen what you just said. You said because of Tua. It's really because of the receivers. When they got the ball, they took it to the house.
I didn't see Skylar Thompson no more than 2 touchdowns this year with those guys. And I don't know what Teddy Bridgewater did, but I don't think it was any more than 3 or 4 maybe. So again, I say to you, Solo boy,
you're right.
Where's your argument, cuz?
Man, my argument is we should have did more on the offensive line. We basically
I have said that I am good with that argument, and I agree with that. And by the way, it is March the 20th. It is the second week. This will be the first full week of free agency.
Yeah.
We're in the 6th day of free agency? Come on now. But
listen to what I just said. Remember when I talked to you earlier? When I talked to you earlier, we all was excited because we was freeing up cap space. We was freeing up cap space because we thought we was gonna get us one of these big O lines and stuff like that. And now when you look at it, like, man, ain't nothing out there, man. It's a bunch of trash players out there nobody don't want.
You talking about on the offensive side of the ball?
On the offensive line. That's what I'm talking about, on the offensive line.
So, look, I'm not going to argue with you on that because I agree that we need to tremendously upgrade the O-line. So there's no point in arguing or debating with you because I agree.
Why I'm saying that, because now half of the fan base, they want them a nice running back. They talking about Cook.
In my opinion, I don't think bringing in a Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook is going to mask the problems that we have on the O-line.
I agree with you. And the only way it was going to work if we would have got one of these offensive linemen, then it would have worked. Because now we were going to have we were going to have a line. Because all we need is one more piece. That's really all we need is one more piece and stuff. But now
I don't know if one more piece is the right answer. But look, man, I got a lot of people in the back room here, man. Let me get to the next person.
I'm gonna let you go, but this is my one more thing too. Last show I heard everybody was talking about we're gonna get Tunsil, and I was telling everybody ain't nobody getting no Laramie Tunsil. The only reason Houston got Laramie Tunsil was because of a quarterback. And now they in the draft. They finna draft him a quarterback. Why you think they're gonna let go Laramie Tunsil and get him a quarterback?
Well, look, if you're from the Laramie Tunsil viewpoint, real quick, Solo Boy, I believe that in my opinion, Laramie would have been a great asset and pickup for this franchise, and he would be for any team, obviously. I was very surprised that Houston paid him the bag, not because he didn't deserve it, but because they're in a rebuilding mode. They're not going to win anything of value for the next 2 to 3 years, maybe even longer than that. So why keep somebody of his caliber when you can get rid of him and get major assets for him to help your franchise rebuild? So to me, you can pay him all you want, but it's again, to me, it just tells me how stupid Houston is, because they're going to let it, right now his value's the most it's ever been, or one of the most it's ever been besides when we traded for him, and they're going to keep him to only have him. Like, what if he gets hurt and you're not able to get rid of him at that point, and then you're stuck with his contract? I mean,
all right, this is my thing.
Stupid.
Listen to what I'm gonna say. The only reason you got Tunsil is for a quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't need Laramie Tunsil.
Well, they don't have a quarterback right now, Solo Boys.
They're finna draft for him, don't they?
Okay, but there's no guarantee that you think any one of these quarterbacks are going to automatically make the Houston Texans a Super Bowl contender?
Okay, they're not going to make them a Super Bowl contender, but what they're going to do is they're going to protect their quarterback. Because this is the problem that they don't want to have. They don't want to have the problem that Chicago got going on with Fields, where, how you call it again, you don't have no offensive lineman to protect your quarterback, and he back there scrambling, running crazy, hurting himself. So at least you got one cornerstone, and then you get your quarterback and find out who he is.
But Houston Texans are not one player away from being a competitive football team.
Yeah, I agree with you, but at the same time, you don't want your quarterback to get hurt. Because if you don't get him a line, he's gonna get hurt back there. Look what we're going through.
You think our Houston's offensive line without them can't be any worse than what our offensive line was last year.
I agree with you, but think about it. When we didn't have Armstead, what you saw, Tua was back there scrambling, looking crazy. Like Tua didn't even have time to throw the ball. So that's the issue they don't want. They want to figure out what their quarterback is, whoever they pick up.
And I'm telling you right now, if you are a franchise that is rebuilding or tanking or scrapping your team, which with the exception of the Laramie signing, everything points to that team tanking to try to get Caleb Williams or drafting some of this young quarterback to see what they do. They're not going to be a competitive football team in 2023. And odds are when you get a young quarterback like this, your chances of being competitive in a playoff run are slim to none. So
all right. Now this is what
Houston is stupid. Point blank, they're stupid.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna leave. All right, I don't think they're going for Caleb Williams, and this how you'll know. If they're gonna pick Caleb Williams, they're not going quarterback. If they go quarterback, they don't care about no Caleb Williams. And if they do care about Caleb Williams, they're finna get him an offensive lineman with the second pick. What you think about that?
Caleb boys, though. I'm gonna think about it, but not for long. About 0.2 seconds.
All right, but just remember when the draft come around, if you see them go pick quarterback, you can scratch out Caleb. If you see them go offensive lineman, they are going for Caleb, and they're gonna tank with their line. They're gonna fix their line, and they're gonna go get Caleb.
Solo, get out of here, man. Love you, brother.
Right,
be
man.
good.
Hey, man, I see.
Be good. Okay. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Guys, hit the like button. Donate to the channel. Help the channel grow. Can't grow without your help. Let's go to the next person. My man, Lewis. Good morning, Lewis.
Good morning, Steven. Boo this man, Solo. What is he talking about? Boo this man. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it, Steven. I cannot believe what I'm hearing. All the negative Nancy's in the chat and in this
I
fan
know.
base.
But what are you
It's
going to
been
do, man? Now
Steven,
you know what I've been working against and dealing with.
Steven, it's ridiculous.
I
All
know.
this narrative about, oh, well, we didn't have no big splashes. We haven't made. I'm going to give you two names that were big splashes this offseason. Jalen Ramsey and Vic Fangio. Are those two big? Are those two big names?
Major names. Not.
So then what are we talking about? We can't just have every big name that comes aboard, Steven. I don't believe this offensive line is as bad as everybody else thinks. Again, we have Tua. He has the quickest release in the NFL.
Lewis, Pete said, next guest, please. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Bye! Man, it's hard out here, Lewis. They don't want you out here, Lewis. Pete said, next guest, please. He said, let's go, cuz. Man, sorry, Lewis. I love you, Lou. You're my guy. But the people have spoken. Manny, what's up?
Yo, that's crazy. Lewis didn't even say nothing, man.
He didn't say nothing. He just spoke up. Like, what did I do? They out here trying to get me.
Spitting facts too, man. Those are big splashes, man.
What's up, man? Good morning, man. What do you want to talk about?
What's up? Good morning, man. Shoot, I mean, man, we've been doing good so far. You know, I don't know why we're talking about next year. Like, man, this year should be so exciting, man. You know, you said something earlier about Mike Gesicki. Yo, that's crazy. He is not gonna have a career year over there, man.
Oh,
he's not. If he's their number one target, that's too easy to shut.
Bye, Manny. He said, hello, goodbye, Manny. Cruz Ruiz said, peace. Gotta wait in the back. Man, boy, y'all out here today. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, wow. I don't know what's going on. You thought it would be Wildin' Out Wednesday. It damn sure ain't Spread Kindness Friday. I don't know what's going on. Crypto, what's going on today, man?
What's going on? What's going on there, man? Wow, what a day. Listen, Steven, I'm going to agree with you on one point about Gesicki. You're 100% right about that. He will, because the New England Patriots do use their tight ends a hell of a lot more than us. With Hunter Henry and now Gesicki, they're going to use their tight ends with their running back package a lot with Bill Belichick. So you're right on that one, Steven. That was nothing wrong with that statement.
I appreciate that. At least somebody around here agrees with me.
I know we have to acknowledge that as a fan, that other teams do things that suit them based on their philosophy.
Look, I think that when it's go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was gonna correct you a little bit on the selective amnesia about us when it comes to offensive. When you said Laramie Tunsil, Houston doesn't have a right to build their team to where they're building. They will keep the best lineman possible. Then they're going to select their quarterback.
Crypto. Everything you have seen from the Houston Texans since they have traded Deshaun Watson has been to gut and rebuild. Why do you keep the best top 3 offensive linemen, best offensive linemen?
Because they're not going to get what we got for them. You think Houston's going to?
That I agree with. Nobody should have given us what we got for him. Houston was stupid to begin with.
Right. That's probably why they most likely going to keep him as the veteran, as the senior veteran.
Boy, he said federal banks to the moon. Adios, crypto. Boy, y'all being hard out here on these boys. What? He said, use running back package with the non-blocking tight end. You cry. You cry. I don't know. I think that's what you meant to say. All right. I don't know what's going on. Man, Crypto, Lewis, Manny, all gone this morning so far. 10 minutes. Y'all are back there. They're in the back. They're waiting. I might have to bring them all on back at one time, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But you know who is in the back? Pete's Takes.
Good morning, Steven. Good morning to everybody. Shout out to all of you beautiful Dolphin people. Hey, shout out to Ian Baller. I think he meant to say crypto is cray-cray.
Okay.
He calls him cray cray. Hey,
Steven
check
is
this
cray
out.
cray. Okay, I
I
didn't
might
know
be
what he said. I
laughing and
don't know.
smiling.
I
It
don't know.
might be all jokes up.
Pete, you're gone. Cruz said, nice thoughts. Keep them. Cruz, boy. Cruz getting everybody out here this morning. Bang, bang. Just so y'all know how it works on our channel, it's 10-minute timeouts for $10, $50 day ban, $100 week-long ban, $250 month-long ban, and you pay double to bring them back from each ban. And whoever banned them, if somebody pays to bring them back, that person can't ban them at that level. They have to go to the next step up, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going. And it's all in good fun. It's all in jest. But you know who I got to bring up next because ain't nobody else up here? I got to bring on the Bills fan. Mark, good morning, Mark. Mark, you're on mute. Mark, you got to take yourself off mute. God, I got to work with these Bills fans. You hit the mute button and you're able to talk. See? Anyways, now I have nobody in the back. Now I got to talk to myself. See what y'all did? No, it's all good. It's all good. What do you guys got out here? Everybody seems to be enjoying Monday right here on Clock Blockers, home of the #1 Miami fan morning show. Super excited to be hanging out with you guys. This is going to be a lot of fun hanging out with you. Miami fan talk show said he fell asleep. LOL. He probably did. Why are you Bills fans always here? Go start your own panels. You don't have to bring up a Bills fan. You chose to bring up a Bills fan. Oh man. All right, look, here's based on what has kind of been talked about so far. Let me bring up an interesting take. By the way, the first person that was given out was I believe it was Lewis. And so Lewis has got like 4 more minutes and then Lewis can come back. One of the things for me is what we choose to argue about as a fan base, right? And when we start arguing about, oh my God, Mac Hollins over Braxton Berrios, and I don't mean to call Solo Boyzo out. This is my man. But are we really arguing about that? Like, is that what we're going to debate? Is that what the issue is with this team moving forward? I don't believe that it is. It shouldn't be. All right, let me bring in my next guest. I got Rashad up in here. Good morning, Rashad.
What up, Steven?
What's going on, man?
I have no idea. I just got here. I'm here to get you $1 or 10.
I don't know what's going on today. Cruz is like, I'm not having it today. Cruz is like, I'm not having it.
He's not here for the nonsense. I respect it, Cruz. Get them all up out of here.
Noob says Rashad's worse than a Bills fan. Whoa.
Hey.
Whoa.
Yeah, how you feel?
Cruz says, Shad, you safe, bro. He said, hey, Rashad, voice of reason.
Hey, man, as Lewis would say, I
if
got
Rashad's the voice of reason, we are all in trouble. Let me tell you, we are in for a world of hurt.
Hey, man.
All right, man. This weekend, a lot of news kind of went down, and some just quiet. We didn't make any moves yesterday. Look, where currently as sitting, where do you see the Dolphins right now?
Super Bowl.
Really? Even if we don't address the O-line issue?
Depending on health, Super Bowl. I mean, hopefully this whole camp battle thing brings the best out of everybody to where we actually have a competent right tackle. That's what they're hoping on. And if that doesn't work, look for us at the trade deadline again to go get the best right tackle available. That's how it's coming off. Go
ahead.
I think most of us were upset that we didn't get the tackle. We didn't completely wash our hands with Austin Jackson. A lot of us are upset about that. But I think now that everything is coming down, we're coming to the the realization that Chris Greer did some things to make our team better in every position except for one. Well, two, tackle and tight end. We upgraded the linebacking core, cornerback, defensive coordinator, bringing the running back room back. All of that was much needed. I think
the fact that y'all hate AJ more than Liam is hilarious.
Is that a thing? Oh wow, I didn't even see that part. But yeah, I think they're all coming to the realization that this is what we're working with. It got us pretty far last year. The injuries came in. I think that's what it was.
And honestly, Rashad, that last part is why I'm so optimistic and not pessimistic, right? Like I'm very optimistic that we're going to make a big run. And for me, it's how far we got last year with how bad the team had with injuries, right? And the what we had to encounter last year.
Right,
we only
right.
got better this offseason, in my opinion.
Only got better and significantly better when it comes to Fangio and Ramsey. Like you look at it as you found a new defensive coordinator and you found a new cornerback. So we got better. No, we found one of the best defensive coordinators and a top 3 cornerback. Let's be real, the best cornerback in the league. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Jalen Ramsey is arguably and debatable the best corner.
You can yell PFF and all of that stuff.
You can debate it, you can argue it, but you can make the argument and the debate for him being that way too, right? So I agree with that. Lewis, welcome back, baby. Welcome back, Lewis.
I appreciate it, Steven. Pete is a hater.
Pete is a hater. He's a huge hater, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a hater. I don't like that guy. Back to my point. What are we crying about the offensive line for? Tua has the quickest release in the NFL. None of his injuries was due to the offensive line. And I'm gonna put my faith.
Are you trolling or do you really mean that?
I really mean it, Steven. I've seen the light. I'm pulled a new leaf.
Is the quickest release a real thing?
Why are you changing your tone, Lewis?
Because, Steven, what is the point?
The storm is calm.
This is the problem with the fan base right here. When I'm the negative Lewis, everybody calls me a hater, a non-believer, tells me to go root for another team. Now I'm over positive, right? I'm oozing positivity, and people are labeling me as a hater and a troll, and that you can't win with this fan base. I strictly believe when I hear, Chris Greer hasn't done nothing for this football team. What everybody told me, one of our biggest weaknesses last year was Coach Boyer on the defense. You upgraded that position. You got probably the greatest defensive mind that this game has seen besides a Belichick and Vic Fangio. That's a plus. You went and you added a piece. We didn't have Byron Jones last year. So what did Chris Greer do? He goes and gets Jalen Ramsey.
Significantly upgraded that secondary with Deshaun Elliott and Jalen Ramsey. Significantly. Not even just
Steven,
straight up.
You brought Nick Needham back. Everybody thought Nick Needham was going to get $5, $6, $7 million in the open market. You brought that man back for $1 million.
I was from what I heard, Minnesota and Brian Flores was making a huge run at Needham. Exactly.
And you brought him back for $1 million. That's a great move by Chris Greer. I don't know what is everybody's problem was. And I think it was the homie Batman. Shout out to him. He's the one that told y'all right when the season ended, run it back 2023. That's what we're doing. To Rashad's point, we are not that far off. I think we had a strong team last year if the injuries. So again, if we're just going by that, if we stay healthy and look at the additions that we made, why can't this be a Super Bowl roster, Steven? And that's not trolling. That's being, for real.
I believe Lewis is being real. I believe Lewis is being real. I think Lewis, after he didn't get what he wanted, he sat there and looked at what he got, and he was like, okay, I can rock with this.
All right, can I put in on that too? Because that's a good point, the Vic Fangio. I'm just a casual, right? So I'm not sure if getting someone of that caliber will actually also help our offense out, right? Because now Tua's going to be seeing different looks, right, in practice. So that should potentially help out our offense also, right? Not just the defense so much.
Potentially.
In
Somewhat,
theory,
yeah.
I
In
would
theory,
say
okay, yeah.
I would say this too, Manny. Remember, all off season we was told and during the season that our woes was basically based on Tua being injured and out. So now, if he's going to be a healthy full season, by definition, they was kind of making the argument that we didn't really need much upgrading because it was only based on Tua's injuries. The reason why we was a failure. So why not run it back with very minimum upgrades, and we'll have the same team on paper.
Now, crypto. So, understanding where we've improved, understanding where we still have, question marks. On March 20th, today, are we not a better team than we were the day we played a playoff game and almost won by and only lost by 3 points?
Yes, we are. But you have to put the caveat. We are on paper. Yes.
Okay, and that's fair to put the caveat on paper. Look, in my opinion, I understand we have I understand the obstacles that are in the way of the Dolphins. We have the second hardest schedule. We have a quarterback that has an issue staying upright. I get it. I understand it. I understand that come the month of December, he doesn't show up. I'll give you all of these things.
Just last year.
But I will also tell you that I think he made a significant step from year 2 to year 3 last year when it comes to Tua. I think that our defense having the opportunity to have Fangio, some games that we did lose last year. I understand it's the what if game, but I personally think we would have played defense a little bit differently. And maybe those games don't turn out for an L for us because we are just playing an aggressive Vic Fangio style type defense, right? Even on games where Tua was struggling, aka the San Francisco game, aka the Chargers game. I'm not saying that we would have won. I'm saying they would have turned out differently. And I think we can all agree to that. And I think the other thing that's going to be interesting too is Mike McDaniel from year 1 to year 2. He's going to make changes based on mistakes that he made as a rookie head coach. And if any decent head coach is going to improve based on knowledge and history, and I think he's going to get better. So everything shows me that this team is improving. The question mark is on the O-line. It's not that we brought back every running back. It's what is the offensive line going to do differently next year? Because everything has showed us we've always had this question mark and issues, injuries, people staying upright, who's going to start this Sunday? Who's going to start next Sunday? We have this meal piece O-line put together. If people want to debate and argue with me about they're scared or nervous about the O-line, fine. But also be optimistic about the other moves that we've made too. And don't just throw them by the wayside because we haven't addressed the O-line in significant detail. That's my problem with some of the fan base. You want to sit there and complain about things that I guess you should be able to complain about when it comes to the O-line, but you want to discount or not even address the moves that they have made to help this team improve on the other side of the ball.
Hey, we brought in Steven, we brought in Dan Feeney. And again, I know everybody just by the way he looks and the way he talked in that video, people are making fun of him, right? Now I could be wrong, but again, someone correct me. But I heard he's played up and down the offensive line. He's played guard, center, and a little tackle. So again,
his track record, real quick, Lewis, his track record shows he hasn't produced numbers very well, starting, snap count, PFF grade, whatever.
What I was going to say, what was his final grade on that?
Not great. But what I will say, Lewis, and I'll let you finish up your thought, Lewis, is he's a personality. He's somebody that knows the AFC East, and he's different than what we've had in the building before, right? So you got to be somewhat optimistic,
Well, not only that, but I'm saying if he's played those 3 multiple positions, guard, center, and tackle, he's just a swing piece. He's a guy that can play multiple positions. And again, when you look at this team, and I see the names of Tyreek Hill, Taron Armstead, Ramsey. We're a lot top heavy. I think Chris Greer is what he's doing now is filling out the roster with depth pieces and stuff. So again, why is everybody so negative about this football team? That's the question I have. Like, I don't understand.
This could be the year for the depth year.
I've seen a lot of
This could be based
positivity,
on
really.
depth, not star
I
players
don't
as
know.
much.
I just don't know how the past 2 years everybody's been so positive, and now this year, 5th year of the rebuild, right? This is where we all wanted to be in year 5 of the rebuild.
Lewis, I don't know.
I would say,
I'm
looking
not
at the
really on
team
the
wise,
spaces.
and now everybody wants to come out and be negative. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing a lot of positivity. To be honest, the only space where there's been the negativity in the past was actually here. I don't know where you see the positivity here, because you come on this channel, ain't never been no positivity on this channel.
Well, Manny,
What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Manny.
Manny, are
Wait a
you
minute.
kidding me?
Hold the phone.
Manny, what have I been?
You want to talk about Stephen D is the leader of
Oh,
positivity? What are you talking about?
Manny, are you kidding
No,
me?
you're right.
Where you been?
I do not mean Stephen D. I mean this channel in general. When he has a guest on, Stephen D. is usually the only positive guy. Everyone's bashing him for being positive.
I was about to say, I've gone
But yeah,
toe
he's
to toe
positive for sure, 100%. But I mean the space in general. You know what I mean? Because it's definitely the
I
negative.
feel what you're saying, Manny.
outweighs
I
the
feel you.
positive.
Manny,
I thought you
Manny,
talking about
I ain't
he's
been on
leading
in
it.
a while.
Stephen
Hold
D
on.
definitely not.
What he's
Man,
saying is Steven battles
No,
everybody
no,
these
come
days.
on.
That's what he's saying.
Now, Manny,
Yeah.
I hear
Yeah.
you,
Well,
and I think you have, I think you have a legitimate debate on that, right? Or a legitimate theory on that, because one of the things that I do is I allow people to come on. Now, a lot of the same people come onto this panel, and I don't have a problem with that because I love all these guys. But for some reason, they're also the most boisterous in the community. So I'll say that I don't think it's half. I don't think half the fan base is fractured. I don't think half the fan base is split. I think there's a vocal minority, a large vocal minority of people that want to be negative or say that these moves, like, it kills me when people say all these moves are just a cover up for the real issues at hand, and that these moves don't mean anything. And I'm like, are y'all kidding me? How can you all say that with a straight face and believe it?
I like what we're doing, man. I think we're doing a great job. I mean, Big Fangio, that's got to be a great move, really. That's got to be the number one thing we had last year. The worst part, again, I used to get beat up about this, was the defense. Our defense wasn't playing to its strengths. Our defense was, Vic Fangio said it in his first little conference there that, when you have to blitz, that's not a good thing. And we had to blitz all the time.
That's
what we did.
He said, Pete's take, Manny, put some names on it then.
Ooh.
Well, I
where the names at?
Are consistently positive, but this channel has a disproportionate amount of people with negative narratives. Fair, Manalo. Fair statement. Go ahead, Lewis.
No, I ain't got nothing to say. I just see a bunch of crybabies in the chat. That's all I see.
Better watch out, Lewis. We're gonna get you, Lewis. Dade County, what's up, Dade County? My guy, Dade.
Speaking of negative Nancy's.
Dade, take yourself off mute. You're on mute, Dade. He's not getting off mute. What's up with people on mute today? I don't know.
That's the best thing for this channel. Dade staying on mute.
That could be considered a positive vibe. Dave being on mute. That's a positive vibe.
Oh man. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. I wasn't planning on doing a panel today. I was planning on bringing y'all one at a time, but y'all went a little crazy this morning. Let me ask y'all something. Why was there such a negative outcry for Morstead leaving to go to the Jets? That made no sense to me. Like, that fans were like, "Oh my God, this is horrible. How horrible is this?" Why was there such a negative outcry?
Apparently, somehow the field position was going to be lost. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, we got a Pro Bowl punter in return. Can't complain about that. Even though Mostert could have been a Pro Bowl punter too.
Rick Spar said because he was the only good special team. He was only good on special teams. I think
we were dead last in special teams last year.
Might have a point there.
I know. I see what he's saying there. Like he's saying he was the only highlight on that special teams unit. Yeah, that's what he's saying. Which is true. Yeah. You could say that because he did flip field a lot. He did have some nice kicks in between the 20s. So, but at the same time, he's a punter.
This weekend we were sitting like
so basically he was a fly on the shit turd when it comes to special teams.
I saw Dolphins Twitter. I saw Dolphins YouTube. People were
special team was trash last year.
Were outright pissed off that he left to go to the Jets, and it wasn't even like they were just mad that we let him go. How could we do this?
Is that we don't plan on punting? We don't plan on punting this year.
Yeah, basically.
We don't plan
we shouldn't worry about that.
We scoring dubs all day, man. Come on.
We should worry about kicker,
year, bro.
We should be worried about the kicker. How many extra points is he going to be kicking? That's what we should worry about.
I agree. I agree, Crypto. I agree.
TJ Maxx says we could always get another punter. People just want to cry about stuff, Steven.
Yeah, they just mad.
Let's hope that Mike McDaniel could get those play calls in on time, right?
We got a Pro Bowl. We got a Pro Bowl punter in Bailey. What are you guys talking about?
I mean, he's 2 years removed, but yes, he is.
He was nursing it. He was nursing that injury.
Morning, fellas.
Morning. What's up, Dade County?
What's going on with y'all? Nah, Steven, we ain't cool no more, bro. You switched on me the other day.
You was my man, Dade. Don't do that.
Nah, you switched on me, dog.
No, I would never do that,
Dade.
Dade, I would never call you. I would never call you Dade County 6'9". Like I would never do anything like that.
Look, see, he started up.
I would.
Well, yeah, Lewis. Actually, you were my second question. You were my actual first question, Lewis. You up here doing fake positivity this week too?
Fake positive. We are being positive, Dade County. It is.
No, ain't no we. I'm talking about you specifically. Are you finna continue with this fake positivity jump?
Mr. Positivity.
It sounds like he will. It sounds like he will.
Doing it for?
So, all right.
You doing it for us?
That was on.
The positivity, is that for us?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Manny,
hey, what's up,
Manny, just so you know, nothing.
Steven,
Lewis will never do nothing for anybody else but himself.
So what's the positivity?
That's Cap.
Anybody
That's
but for
Cap.
himself?
That's Cap.
Lewis, you selfish, man. I didn't know you were selfish, Lewis.
Fake positive,
That
dog.
is Cap.
Steven.
That is Cap.
Man, y'all know Lewis better than this, bro. Like Lewis talking positive. Come on, y'all should already know something up.
Lewis, what Dade is telling me, what I'm hearing from Dade is that you are out here on these public forums making foolish and mockery of positive Dolphins fans throughout the world of Dolphins social media. Are these
That's
allegations?
exactly what he's doing.
Are these allegations true, Lewis?
I came on camera. Does this look like a
What's
face
that?
that would do that?
I mean, hard evidence of this.
I mean, a little bit.
Would not do that.
I need hard evidence of this.
A little.
I need some hard evidence of this mockery.
Big Philly. Thank you.
I need evidence of this.
Oh shit!
Lewis.
Hey, Steven.
The allegations that Dade has presented to this year court.
Steven, this is what I say as a fan.
I need hard evidence.
This is the fifth year of the rebuild, and I think
it should be Super Bowl or bust.
Fifth year of the rebuild. Come on,
yes.
This is year 5
This
of
is
the rebuild.
from the very tear down to the build up. Year 5, it should be Super Bowl or bust.
Now, Dade, I'm gonna have to back you up now because I have never heard. Well, year 5 of the rebuild, we're finally doing.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, bro. First of all, y'all know Lewis. All I'm saying is y'all know Lewis. Lewis does not talk like this, bro. That's all I'm saying.
This is actually.
Hey, but yeah, Pete been trying to talk for a minute. Let Pete go.
Thank y'all, guys. Look, check this out,
Nobody
Steven,
wanna
because
hear
I hear all the positivity and all Greer and stuff, right, Steven? But check this out. As a fan, when I look at the roster, I'm like, man, the bump bed collapsed. The bump bed collapsed, Steven. And let me tell you why. because
There was
I
blood
know
everywhere. It was so bad.
Yep.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because
look,
Skyler's
we're
number
talking
3
to
again.
linebackers.
Skyler's number
Just
3 again. That's
linebackers
why.
alone. Look, just linebackers alone, statistically, we didn't get better. Because if we would have kept Elandon Roberts, Malik Reed, and that other guy, what's his name? David Short, that guy. I mean, dude, they would not be starting linebackers.
That's so disrespectful. He called him David Short.
David Short will not be starting
You so
here in
disrespectful,
Miami
bro.
if
Hey,
we actually
that's why I
sign
could at least
Elandon
respect
Roberts
Pete.
back. You see what I'm saying here? So how did we upgrade, fellas? How are as fans? We're not making the right
Bye,
move.
Pete. Bye, Pete. All those say bye.
Hey, Pete, we
damn.
upgraded because Tua got healthy. By definition, that's an upgrade because he is starting the season healthy.
Gone for 10 minutes, Pete.
You see Andrevius in the chat? Andrevius just put me out there because Dade County is trying to lie.
He said, Lewis, please drop.
He's starting the season healthy.
No,
you good brother.
no.
Thank you, Andrevius. Andrevius know what I've been talking about.
That's cap. Andrevius said that I gave him a ticket to the game for free. Me and my homie sat next to each other. I'm not selfish. Put that comment up, Stephen. I know you see it.
I'm talking about what you've been doing recently is the fake
What am I
positivity. I ain't
doing?
talking about it.
Lewis
what I
gave
said
me
to
a
Peter
ticket to
now.
the game. He
What
ain't
makes
selfish.
any Dolphin fan the arbiter of positivity or not?
Lewis, that's because
Where's
I
that
said,
rule?
Hold on.
Who died and made anybody the
Crypto.
arbiter of who could be positive?
I told
Crypto.
Lewis to give Andrevius
Who
that
is-
ticket. I said, don't do my man.
That's what I'm trying to
Andrevius
figure
dirty.
out.
That's cap. Look, that's cap.
I'm trying to figure out
That's cap.
what rule, what law has been passed and the president signed on based on who could be positive. Where's that rule instruction on who could be positive, on how they could be
You
positive,
don't need a rule.
and when they could
You
be
don't need a
positive?
rule, Crypto. You don't need a rule, Crypto. I just don't like Lewis coming out here lying to the fans.
Who made that rule?
Lewis, be
That's
who
what I'm
you
trying to
are.
figure out.
Hey, the one thing I can respect about Pete ain't finna back down off his takes. You're backing down off your takes, and it's like you're not even being real about it. Like that's my only problem.
What makes you? What makes anybody being real or not?
Just do that, bro. I don't like this fake positivity from you, dog.
What he said.
You don't like fake positivity from who?
Let me hold on.
I don't like fake positivity, period. But I'm saying what Lewis has been doing, Lewis is clearly pissed, and he is literally joking with y'all. And people are
how? But where's the evidence of that?
Crypto, let me translate.
Crypto, you leave it alone. You're not even in this.
Crypto, let me translate what Dade County's trying to
begin.
What he is saying.
Crypto, let the two men handle their business.
What he is saying is that Lewis is decided to leave his inner wolf pack at the door and leaving it at the doorstep of negativity so that he can enter the house of positivity, and that Dade County said, I just ain't buying no ticket to it.
It's not him. I know Lewis is a certain person, bro. It's just not him. That's all I'm saying.
It sounds
like Lewis, I met you as a completely different person, bro. You scaring me now, bro.
Can I respond? Can I
Go ahead.
Are y'all gonna believe the snitch up here? Can y'all gonna believe the snitch?
Hey, that's how you know I'm getting him, because he's still trying to run with that false ass narrative too. Hey, y'all stop letting Lewis come up here and lie to y'all, bro.
I am positive about this football team. I think we are going places, barring any injuries. Bro, listen, y'all can say what you want. I can call people right now that I've had personal phone calls, conversations with, right, that will come up here and vouch. Everything I'm saying here, I've said to other people.
You ain't gonna do nothing but who been doing the same thing? Like, bro, I don't want to hear that.
Dade, again, no, for real. Dade, listen.
Y'all have colluded like the NFL does, and y'all are now coming together and ruining spaces and shows with your fake positivity. I hate it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Well, the other thing could be said if somebody who was all positive becomes negative. But hold on, Dave. Are you going to give that same energy to somebody who was always positive and now all of a sudden negative? Are you going to say that's fake negativity?
Crypto, I say the same. If it sounds fake, I'm going to call them on it.
Are you willing to say it's fake negativity all of a sudden that they're negative?
Hey, let me ask Lewis one question.
Of course.
Lewis, look at Dade County's name.
That's all I'm trying to say. It's be consistent.
It says FinFan69. Man, Dade County, how good?
Who the fuck do that? Hey, how y'all do that? Hey, first of all, how y'all controlling my name, bro?
Don't worry about what we
Hey,
do.
how y'all do
You
that?
hater.
I did that. That
Hey,
was
look.
I'm just messing
Hey,
with you.
hey, Lewis. So you good with Tua as the #1 quarterback for our team?
Oh,
Who
he
else
got
is it
off.
gonna
I
be?
was just messing with you, Dave. I just deleted it.
Who's it gonna
So
be,
you
Manny?
good with that? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And let me change it. I was just messing with you. Let me
Hey, yeah,
change
stop playing, fool. Stop playing, fool. No, why you playing with me, Steve?
I'm gonna hold you to it, Lewis.
I didn't even know y'all could do shit like that, bro. Y'all can change people's
Listen,
names.
I got skills, man. Okay, I do this
the
here.
day,
All right.
at
Steven
the
D,
end of
don't
the
lie to
day,
yourself, my
I'm trying to
man.
be, all. Look, in fairness, right? This is all I'm saying. This is for real. Seriously, this is year 5 of the rebuild. When we tore this thing down and we started trading off pieces, getting all these picks. 5 years later.
Oh, hey, breaking news. Hold up. Breaking news. Breaking news. Adam Schefter is stating Buffalo Bills just signed Trent Sherfield to a 1-year deal.
I was going to say that too.
1 year.
I
So
promise
what, we gonna
That's
cry
all they
about that
giving
now?
them?
We gonna cry about that now?
Listen,
I was
I'm
going
just
to say
saying,
Trent
fellas,
Sherfield was going to stay in the AFC East. I kind of
at the
felt
end
that
of the
was
day,
coming.
It don't
Right.
matter.
fellas.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset about it.
Here.
I'm a little
No.
upset about
I don't care. With our DBs, I don't care. I don't care about no catching threats against these DBs right
it.
now.
It's not
None.
that. It's the
Don't
fact
You
care.
that
should be against
Sherfield-
X.
It's the
trash.
fact that Sherfield knows our offense and is going to tell
X
the
ain't gonna
Bills
look like
about
that
our
again next year.
They gonna be
Everyone knows
picking
our
on him like
offense.
left and
X
right.
needs to go back.
Hold
X needs to
on.
go back to covering the number 2 instead of the number 1. You'll see X make
Hold
a
And he
on.
make
was
a
getting
jump back
roasted by
up.
last year's number
Give me 1
3s and
second.
4s.
Crypto.
Shut up, Crypto. That's not
Give
true.
me, Dave,
It
Crypto, give me a
was.
second.
No, it wasn't.
Stephen D,
Steve,
Shakir.
question for you.
It's not
What's
about
up?
knowing the offense.
Are
because
you
everyone knows
seriously
the
buying
offense.
into that bull crap of, oh no, we signed a player from another team, so they're going to sit there and regurgitate our entire playbook?
Belichick's been doing it for years, cuz. You don't think that's real? Belichick's
So
been
what?
I
The
think
doing
it's
it.
playbook
part of it,
changes.
but I don't
Mike
think it's going to
McDaniel would
sit
be
there and
stupid
make
as
or
hell.
break anything.
Belichick doesn't even hide it when he do it. He takes players off practice squads for 1 week.
He
before
don't hide it.
I don't, Stephen D, I don't think it's going to make or break anything, and I think there's going to be enough changes and shifts. Like, we don't have automatic tells anymore when people are on the field, and we can run 3 or 4 different plays from the same formation.
I don't like Sherfield going to the Bills.
And that would be on McDaniel to make sure he's switching junk up anyway. It shouldn't be the same from last year.
And I'm
Steven, what was the deal?
It's a 1-year
Well,
deal.
that's true. That means we can't use that same argument when we grab players from other teams thinking we're weaking in them.
How much was it for?
I didn't say nothing about trying to grab players from nobody.
Hold up real quick.
Y'all, 1 second.
No, but Dolphins fans have been doing that. Oh, we're gonna weaken them. We're gonna steal their playbook.
Hey, the numbers aren't out yet, Rashad. I'll let you know.
Crypto, to get to your point real quick, there's a difference between weakening a team and poaching a team to try and get their playbook. If you take a good player from a team,
I know that. That's not what I'm saying. But if they was already good at depth in that positions, they don't matter. If you're poaching from them.
If I take
Trent Sherfield is a sellout.
Jalen
I don't
Ramsey
care.
from a team, it matters.
He got
if I
offers
take
from
a
other
Poyer or
teams.
Tremaine Edmonds from a
But
team,
they've already dismantled. The Rams are already in the act of dismantling a team anyways. It was one and done for them anyways. We're not a direct competitor to the Rams anyways.
Crypto, the point I'm making is depending upon the player.
Ritter said Thomas Morstead is telling the Jets how we punt. LMFAO.
Hey, do
Bring him up, Steven. He said what?
Everybody's always panicking, bro. Like, yo, calm down.
Like, if you take a top of the line player, they may have good depth behind them, but it's still not going to be the same, and the team would still be weak.
Cruz,
you're right. Kind of like when everybody was writing off the Kansas City Chiefs when we got Tyreek Hill and they were supposed to be declining. Yeah, you're right.
Cruz Ruiz.
That's people that thought Tyreek was the number 1, and Tyreek was never the number 1 in that offense. It was always Kelsey.
The hell he was.
Sherfield 6'9".
Kelsey was always the number one in that offense, Crypto.
No, he wasn't.
Always.
Now you're saying it
First
because
option.
it's convenient to fit your argument.
No, I'm not.
There was a lot of
I'm
people
telling you what it
saying
is.
that a lot of
That's a
people
lot
was
of
writing
people. A
them
lot of
off and
people don't know
writing
what
their
they're talking about.
obituary.
Also, Crypto.
You're not finna sit up here and tell me that a lot of people was putting the Chiefs in their obituary when we got freaking Tyreek Hill and saying how much better than we are than them.
As long as they
We
have
had that
All
Mahomes.
freaking
right,
argument.
those people were clearly
Chris,
wrong.
I
You
won't
talking to
write
me
the
like I
Chiefs off
said
as
it.
long
Now
as
they
they
saying
have
that now
Mahomes
they
and
trying to
Steven
admit
Mahomes.
did.
because they raised the
Steven said
Lombardi
correctly.
Crypto,
We
freaking
you
number
have
one in that
got to
division.
you have got to
17
The
weeks
question
later.
I ask you,
compartmentalize,
Crypto,
Crypto.
is that
You got
team
to keep
better
that
or not
energy
with
for the
Tyreek
people
Hill
that
on it?
actually told you that. I never said that, so I don't know why you coming at me with that
Clearly they're
argument.
better now because they won the Super Bowl without them.
Yeah, skip
They
over what
won
I
the
just said.
Super Bowl with them.
Exactly, but they won it in year one immediately.
Huh?
They lost
Y'all
the
so
Super Bowl, the
jealous,
previous
bruh.
Super Bowl they
Y'all
was
so
in
jealous.
with
And they won
him.
the
Worry
one
about
before that, Crypto.
But they did, but the most recent one was without him. And the most recent one with them, they lost.
Crypto.
They
Don't
had
Okay,
worry
an
they
about
easy
that,
pass,
won the
bro.
though.
one
They had an
before
easy
that.
pass.
Okay,
That's
but I'm
not
talking
the
about what they
biggie,
did
though.
with
You
them
aren't going to
recently
win a
without
Super Bowl
him.
every time you go to one. The question is, are they a better team if
It's
they have
March
Tyreek Hill on the
20th.
team or not?
Let's stop panicking.
They are better. Because
Newfoundland
Mahomes
says,
became a more rounded quarterback without having to rely on one guy.
Newfoundland
He's
says,
got an
Crypto,
easy
quit
route, though.
telling
Come
me he's
on.
And
gaslighting.
Tyreek was their number one wide receiver.
He's in the
Crypto.
easiest division in the
Crypto.
AFC, man. Come on.
They're better with Tyreek Hill. Like, there's no question about it. Pat Mahomes is a better quarterback with Tyreek Hill. There's no arguing that.
Okay, if that's what you say so. I don't see the results. They just as good with them or without them. And they proved it.
I'm not saying he's not good. That's not what I'm
They
saying.
and
I'm
he
saying
proved it
he's better with
immediately.
them.
And I was
I'm
the
saying
only one right telling y'all that the Kansas City Chiefs wasn't going to be no damn different. Matter of fact, his stats and his personal numbers got better. And he won the MVP as a quarterback without him.
I said Patrick Mahomes' numbers will get
Because
better the same way Matthew Stafford.
I was the only one that
quarterback
said
in
that
the league.
from the very beginning and not looking back.
You weren't the only one. You were not the only one.
Y'all was going on this ledge talking about Mahomes was all of a sudden going to be goddamn Trent Dilfer.
I used an example.
Put a name on it, Crypto.
I
Who
never
told you
said
that?
that shit.
You
You
were
keep
saying
saying
it.
y'all.
Everybody
I
in
need
the
a name.
fan base.
I need a name.
You like
Crypto
to
keep
write
saying y'all.
people off
Generalization on that
immediately.
does not apply
Crimpo
to me.
heard one person say it, and now he's blaming
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Like,
everybody
bro,
in the
you
human
never
race.
heard me say nothing like that. So, but you use that as an argument towards me. I don't get that.
Because I for sure
But
said
that was the whole sentiment of everybody in this fan base because they were putting on
I've never said that.
Whoa, one at a time. One at a
Put a
time.
jump
Now they want to say it because now after the fact they've been proven
Those
wrong.
words
What are we
never
arguing
came
about?
out of my
Jump on
mouth.
Crypto head, bro.
What are we arguing about?
I have no idea. I have none.
Crypto
Your
believes he's the
positivity.
only
Now,
No,
one.
we can
because
bring it back
everybody
to
was
only
writing
thinks Pat
obituary for the
Mahomes-
Kansas City Chiefs, and they got better last year. Mahomes' personal numbers got better. He won MVP, he
only
won Super
person-
Bowl
saying
MVP,
everybody,
and he
but
did
you
it
ain't
all without
put-
The
Tyreek
only
Hill.
person I can think of who did that was
No,
Stephen
this
D.
narrative, everybody narrative needs to change because I never said the Kansas City Chiefs were God. I never
Andre-
wrote Mahomes
They were
off.
saying that the Kansas City Chiefs wasn't
You
probably even going to
say
make the playoffs
I'm not
because they were saying the
that.
Denver Broncos was going to replace them, the Raiders was
Steven,
going
can
to
you
replace
please
them.
ask this
A
man
la
who the
Stephen
hell
D
he's
was
talking
saying the
about?
Raiders.
Stephen D.
I'm putting the name of Stephen D was saying the Raiders was going to surpass them because the Raiders was going to be the
Yeah,
new
you were
champions of
definitely
that
wrong about
division.
that.
The
Stephen D thought the
Chargers
Raiders
was
were
going to
going
pass
undefeated.
them because everybody was going to pass the
Stephen D was
Chiefs
wrong right
based on all the recruitment.
That's one person, Crypto. That's one
Hey,
person.
so one
Crypto.
person means everybody now. All right, bet.
Crypto, let's get something straight, okay?
I'm just giving one example.
Oh, you put me as the example.
But you putting everybody in it.
You said one person and then
Yeah,
you said
because that was the
everybody.
same arguments
You
and
have more
sentiments y'all was
cases.
using.
No, I wasn't.
What you not gonna do?
Y'all basically saying the same thing and then try to gaslight me that freaking Tyreek Hill is not their number one.
Here we go.
He is. He was their number one when he was there.
No, what you said is
Bro,
when you take a
Travis
top
Kelce is
player
always
away
that
from a
man's
team,
first target,
you're
bro.
weakening them if they have depth. What I said was if you take away a top tier player from a team, like a Tyreek Hill, you do make that team weaker.
And they didn't get weaker. That's what my argument was, and it's proof in the pudding. They never got better.
Doesn't mean they're an easier team to defend.
I'm not really a pudding, and you put
Their numbers got better. They literally got better on
I will
all
tell you
They made
levels.
this.
changes to their offense.
All right,
But
can we
there's
talk
other
about us
factors
now?
that go into it.
Can we just
Like
talk
the
about us?
schedules of
Jesus.
opponents.
If they didn't play the Eagles, if they would have played that same Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I don't know. I can't say convincingly if they would have beat that team. I
Andrevius
will
said
say
put a
that.
name on it.
It's
Andrevius
not the
said put a
freaking
name
Eagles'
on it.
fault of who they matched up with. They
Not
I'm
play
not
who
saying
they
it is.
play.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that Super Bowl, that team that lost that Super Bowl,
That team that lost the Super Bowl didn't have three offensive linemen.
I
So you
believe
can't even
you.
say that.
I believe you,
So
but
they
I
And
still think
plus
that team is better.
that team that
Crypto.
lost to the Bucks, number one,
Hold on, watch
freaking
this.
didn't
Watch
have
this.
no linemen. And that's the
I got
same team that beat
Okay,
them in the
watch
freaking
this.
earlier that season, beat the crap out of the Buccaneers.
So
The
Crypto,
first Super
you
Bowl,
actually hit it right on the head. The
Robert.
Chiefs got better by fixing their offensive line and getting healthy. Their receiving core got weaker because they lost one of their
That
top
wasn't the
receivers.
previous team. That was two teams removed. That was 2 seasons removed from that team. That had the offensive lineman dismantled. That was 2 full seasons removed from that.
That was the one they lost for the Bucks.
Hey, hold up,
Listen to what Robert's saying.
Hold on real quick. Cruz Ruiz says, Crypto, you are gaslighting everyone. You are saying the only person that thought PM was going to be the same PM. Then those people are asking you who said anything different about PM.
What the hell are you talking about?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, and your point is, you guys were the ones saying that freaking Patrick Mahomes was going to take a serious decline, not me.
Who is you guys?
Did not hear that from
All of you.
Who told you that?
And then saying
You, Dave, you, Robert,
I ain't never
you,
said that.
Rashad.
I've never said that. And I put that on my baby. I
You
never
said
said
he's going to have a
that.
decline in
I
his
put that
play
on
and
my
his
baby. I
performance
ain't
and his
never said some
numbers.
crazy shit like that.
Can
I
I
did
say
not
something
say
real quick
Patrick
without
Mahomes is
everybody
going to
else?
decline.
Can I
You
say
said his
something real
numbers was
quick?
going to go down. He was going to
Robert,
decline
Now,
because he
Crypto,
didn't have
you're
his number one
gaslighting me.
weapon.
You're
Robert, let me
absolutely
say
lying
something.
now. You're saying
Robert.
I said that. You're absolutely lying.
Robert, let me say something.
Now you're
real
lying.
quick.
No,
Come
you
on,
know
bro.
that. You know what you said, Dave. You know
I
exactly
never
what you
said
were saying
anything.
in
I
them
don't talk
spaces.
about Patrick Mahomes. I don't talk about
You
other
know what you were
quarterbacks.
saying in
So
them
therefore, I know
spaces.
you got me mixed up with somebody else, Crypto.
You know what you said.
Like,
You
come
know
on,
what
bro.
y'all was
I'll
saying
take
in
it,
them
bro.
spaces. Y'all
Crypto,
got
I
caught on
always
y'all
hold
freaking
on what I
lies.
said, bro.
Because y'all was saying the
Crypto,
same thing
I
about the
always hold
49ers.
on what I
Y'all
said.
was saying the same thing about the 49ers because y'all wanted us to get a high draft pick for them because y'all kept saying the
Crypto.
49ers was going to decline
I ain't
and
finna
freaking
yell at
happen.
you,
Y'all
Crypto,
was saying
so
the
let me know
same
when you're
thing
done.
about the
Why would the
49ers because
49ers
we had their
All I'm gonna
pick.
say is,
The whole original
all I'm gonna
pick.
say is, you got me confused with
Y'all
somebody else.
was saying the
That's all I'm
same
gonna
thing
say,
about the
Crypto. I ain't gonna argue
49ers
with you.
demise.
You clearly got me
And how
confused
did
with
that
somebody
work
else.
out?
I didn't say
just
crap
picked it.
about Mahomes. I
Y'all
didn't
was
say
saying the
crap
same
about
thing
Because
the
about the
you're
49ers.
49ers
taking tweets
demise.
that you
And
read
I
and then
called
trying to
y'all
put them
on
in somebody's mouth
both
and
of
say
those
they said
teams
that. I
wasn't
never
going to
said
You're
have
that,
a
lying.
bro.
demise
You're
like y'all
lying.
said they was.
Crypto.
Because y'all
I
wanted
didn't
us
say
to get a high
nobody
draft
denied
pick.
Crypto.
Y'all was writing
If
their
you don't
obituary
like
saying how
people
we gonna
I
get
lying,
the
don't care what
49ers
stop
nobody
pick.
say
lying
right
on
now. He's
people,
just gonna
bro.
keep
Because
No,
rolling
I'm
with
gonna
this
you
start
say
narrative,
you
lying
even
can
though
on
make
he
people.
know
yourself
it's
up
false.
because I didn't say that
Please
crap.
No,
stop
it's
So
lying
not.
on
whatever.
people,
You
bro.
know
Then I
Y'all
good
been
never
well we
lying
said
can
on
that
me
play
all
either.
the
day.
tapes on people saying the 49ers was
Go
gonna
run them
demise
back then. Go
everything.
find
You're
your
saying
evidence, please, and
people,
then show
not
me what I
evolve.
said,
Because you
please.
won't imply as I said it and I
Because
didn't
you
say
ain't
it.
gonna find it. You not
Hold
gonna
on,
find it. I don't care how many
hold
recordings
on.
you go back for. You ain't gonna find
I
me
would
saying no
definitely
crazy
find
shit
it.
like that.
I would
Please
definitely
do.
find it on
Please do.
a
And I'm
lot
gonna
of
be
you,
on your
including
ass
you,
every day.
Dave, in
I'm
the
gonna ask you
spaces
every day,
saying
have you
how
found
the
that?
49ers
I'm
was
gonna
going
ask
to
you every
decline, how
day,
the
have you
Chiefs was
found that
going to
recording yet?
decline, all because of the upgrades they had in their division prior to the season starting. Y'all know
I didn't
damn well y'all was
Russell
writing both of those
Wilson, what are
teams
you
off.
talking
And you
about
was
right
writing it for
now?
selfish
Who is
reasons.
y'all?
What are you
Because
talking about?
This man is
Rashad, you was the
making
one
words.
saying you'll take
go
our offense.
find it.
They
And
went to
Rashad,
the NFC
you was the main one
Championship,
saying that
Crypto.
you'll
What
take
are you
our
talking
offense
about?
over their offense. As
Crypto is
your
up here.
argument to say,
We went
as
to
your
You.
argument
I
to
don't even
say
want to.
that
I don't even want to
we're
say.
If
better
I
than
said
them.
Hey,
that,
hey, can
go
y'all let
find
We
it.
were
Steven
the
I'll
talk?
wait.
sixth ranked
No, I'm saying,
Hey, can y'all let
no.
Steven talk?
Rashad, Rashad, because you was the main one, Rashad, saying you'll take our offense with Tua over Mahomes with them not having Tyreek Hill. And you was using that as an argument.
We were right. We were right number 2 at the time in offense.
Hey, y'all take a break. Hold on, Steven want to talk.
You was saying that before the season at the very beginning. And I said, give it time.
Take a break.
And I said, give it time. And at the end of the day, The Kansas City Chiefs will be the Kansas City Chiefs. And the 49ers franchise will be the 49ers franchise.
Listen.
Rashad,
talking
stop arguing, bro. Stop arguing. You ain't gonna back crypto down. Whatever.
Yo,
Let that man talk.
I'm gonna back crypto down. What the fuck? Damn. We were 8-3. We were the number 2 offense, the number 1
You're breaking up, Rashad. You're breaking up.
offense.
You were saying that at the beginning of the season. You were saying that after that Ravens game when you were speaking that nonsense about you'll take our offense over theirs because they had a game against the Colts. You was basing off their performance against the Colts and our performance against the Ravens.
Wrong person, buddy. Wrong person.
Hey, Rashad, like I said, bro, he clearly got people confused. Just leave it alone, dog.
Wrong person.
Now, Steven, go ahead while you got break.
No, it was Rashad. No. First of all, Dave, you wasn't even up here when Rashad was spewing that nonsense about he'll take our offense.
I said it.
Based on the freaking.
Thank you, Crypto. You just made my argument for me.
Now I know for sure he has.
No, I'm talking about at that time when Rashad made that argument. So you ain't out of freaking jail. Stop it.
Hey, y'all
What are you talking about?
First of all,
After week, hold on, wait.
I ain't going back and forth with Crypto. Steven, go ahead, man. It's your show. Go ahead, Steven.
You know damn well,
Rashad,
you was the main one saying you'll take our offense over Kansas City because of how we got out the gates against the Ravens and freaking how they performed against the freaking Colts.
8-3, Crypto. That was after we were 8-3.
No, you were saying that in week 3. You were saying that about week 3.
We were 8-3.
We weren't 8-3. That wasn't out the 11 games. You said that early in the season.
Spaces and all type of stuff we could do this on.
You were saying that. You were saying that way before that. Way before the 11 games started.
You finished.
Can I talk? Are y'all ready? Are
Go
y'all
ahead,
done?
man,
Or is you done? Okay. Y'all say I get so many DMs. Steven, you should do panels more often. Steven, you should do panels more often. And then I do panels more often. We had 190 people. We're now down at 143 because Crypto, who's saying, stop gaslighting me, y'all gaslighting, yet he the one who's gaslighting because Lewis up here with his.
I'm not. I know exactly what you. I know what you mofo saying. I keep.
I let you talk that you.
And I keep record. I keep record.
Not good ones.
Your ass ain't
I got audiographic memory.
Anyways,
that just busted.
Hold up, I'm not finished. Crypto with his gaslighting, Lewis with his fake positivity.
How? I'm not trying to convince you of a different reality. That is the reality.
Let me finish. Let me talk. Dade County 6'9". Robert with his I gotta call everybody out, and Rashad with the worst phone service
Steven.
Now that I've offended everybody on this panel, y'all may proceed because apparently this is what the fans want. They want a panel. They want a panel all the time. So, you know, let's not.
Like I said, crypto. You know I mess with you, bro. But I ain't never said what you said I said, bro. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay, and let me continue. Let me continue because I don't want to break my arms and pat myself on the back because you guys were saying the same thing about the Jacksonville Jaguars and that acquirement of Christian Kirk and how they was going to freaking crash and burn.
Once again, you guys equating to people not up here.
Okay, the sentiment of this fan base. The sentiment of this fan base was the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'll let you ride.
The sentiment of this fan base. Well, once again, I'm gonna go to another team because this list gets real big on how we in our fandom how we like to trash other teams first and don't even think about their rosters. Another thing, the Jacksonville Jaguars was written. Their obituary was written very soon after the Christian Kirk purchase of $80-something million and how bad that move was and how they wasn't go do jack dog water about it. And look what happened. They won a playoff game with the guy. And once again, I don't want to break my arms, pat myself about. I was the only one said the Jacksonville Jaguars will be the surprise playoff team this year because it's at least 4 brand new playoff teams every year. So then what happened? And that's what happened. I tried to talk you guys off the legs about Jacksonville's ascendance.
Did anybody argue with you?
Argue that they got lucky with injuries too because of the Titans.
They argue with me. What was good? it doesn't matter. They still did. They still deal with take care of their business and win when they had to.
I'm just saying you had a little bit of luck in that too, man. Not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you had a little bit of luck in your prediction coming true.
Crypto is Dolphins receipts.
Okay, if you want to call it luck, that's fine. If that's what you want to label it as.
Hey, Lewis, he'll never
news?
find that receipt on me.
Dolphins receipts on Twitter.
I wish he would
Crypto
find
is
the
Dolphins
receipt.
receipts.
Are you Dolphins receipts on
week
Twitter?
3.
Please let that narrative be true, please. No, you're not answering. You just gonna be quiet now. You just gonna be quiet. Look who came to argue, ladies and gentlemen. Dravius has entered the chat.
I broke my vow to never come on your panels again, Steven, just because I can't take the foolishness anymore. I cannot take the foolishness today.
Negative Nancy.
Up here today, Dravius. What have you
There's
heard?
a lot of foolishness. There's a lot of foolishness.
There goes that
Call
hater
him out. Hey,
Dravius.
put a name on it, Dravius. Put a name.
I do not.
On it.
I do not put names on anything. I'm scared of you people. You all are gangsters and you scare people away. I am not going to put anyone's names out. So y'all can beat me up at the tailgates. I'm good, love. Anyways, I just came up to here to semi-agree with crypto. I semi-agree with crypto because I remember specifically last year, it was one of the only times I was agreeing with crypto when people were saying Patrick Mahomes was going to fall off a cliff, and we were like, y'all are out y'all fucking minds. No, he's not. But to Dade County's point, Dade County wasn't even on these panels back then, so leave Dade County alone.
Thank you. That's all I was saying. Thank you, Andrevius. Appreciate it.
Okay, not on this panel, Dravius. You're correct. I would amend that statement and say he wasn't on the panels when they was making those foolish arguments about Mahomes.
He was
complaint
still snitching.
was not
even in the space.
I wasn't even in the spaces yet.
I didn't know y'all yet.
All right,
he was still snitching a year ago, though.
Andrevius.
Lewis still lying to people, so apparently you just been a liar. But all right.
Andrevius, the complaint wasn't with the sentiment crypto was discussing. The complaint was with the sentiment of you all and everyone.
Hold up, Dave. How do we know that Lewis wasn't actually positive at first and that the negativity
not everyone. I would say about 70%. I'll put a percent on it.
Talk to him, Steven.
Oh my God. So with Lewis, I'm gonna address Lewis too because I believe Lewis believes that this team is gonna be okay, but I do believe he's going over the top with this positivity just to get on our nerves.
No,
man. Okay,
but no, I know Lewis, and I know. I'm gonna say this: Lewis believes that the team is going to be fine. This is just not the approach he would have taken.
And that's all I've been saying. Like, bro, Lewis be you. This is not the Lewis that I've met. The Lewis that I know was always upset about something. Now you telling me all of a sudden a switch flipped and he's just all good? That shit is bullshit. But look, it is what it is, bro. We good.
It's not.
It's not BS. It's just understanding where you're at and knowing that you can't do crap about it. So the best you can do is make fucking chicken stew out of chicken shit.
Are we just ignoring the swear jar this morning, gentlemen?
Whoa, what's going on?
You never
You said, Steven, there was going to be no swear jar this week. Didn't you say that?
I said if y'all donated, y'all did not donate to have no swear jar, and it was going to be on Wednesday.
I thought they donated that day, Steven. My bad.
Let me
I
get
thought
up out of here. I'm not allowed. I'm not even allowed to be on these panels or donate to the show, so I got to go. And I done cursed already. I'm out of here.
You got a free pass.
Man. I love Andrevius.
Man.
Noob says, where do I get my swear jar refund? Cruz says swear jar is full of. See, I'm not saying that. You're not getting me, Cruz.
I almost got that for you. Hey, well, yeah, I don't even want it to be no confusion. It's still all love crypto. It's still all love Lewis.
They didn't drop the 50 like they should have, bro. I know. And that's what it was. I was on Lewis's show on the Fins Tailgate, and I said if y'all donate $50 right now to Lewis's show, that I would have no swear jar on Wednesday. They didn't do it. So, look.
You know what, Steven? Can we get that Steven right now? Because that Steven was fun. Let's get that Steven.
That Steven was fun. That Steven was fun. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't know who that guy is. I've never heard of him. I don't know what you're talking about, people. I have no idea. No idea.
The hell you don't.
It's not. You can't find him on this network. You've never seen him.
Steven.
Hey, Steven, so wait a minute, because when I first came up, you said you've been watching me and El Capitan and a couple of other guys on social media being positive. Do you agree with our positivity, though, Steven? Do you agree with the things we've been saying?
Hell no.
Come out here.
Well, all right. To answer the straight
not
question,
genuine, though.
It's not.
It's so not genuine, bro.
I believed you
The
for a while.
question was
not
for
no
Steven.
more. Not no more.
Do I agree with the positiveness that you are promoting? Yes, I 100% agree with the positive you're promoting. Now, to Dade County's point, do I agree? Do I agree that? Hold up, I'm not done. Do I agree that it's 100% genuine from you?
It's not.
I have my reservations.
Are
okay,
you calling me?
Bro, don't even don't sugarcoat it for him, Steven. Tell the truth.
I'm saying I have my reservations. Okay, I have my reservations.
But to make that statement, Stephen, we have to have a measuring stick on what is considered positive or not.
You guys are calling me.
No, you have to have that because you think that everything.
I'm not calling you a liar.
No, because you guys have the burden of proof because you're determining something not to be genuine. So the burden of proof is on the
Lewis, you had me for the first 20 minutes.
We can only go off your past history, Crypto. We can only go off your past history.
That's where you lost me.
Crypto, here's an example for you, sir. If I go in and say, hey, look, the Dolphins, these offseason moves, they've been 2 thumbs up. I like it. I love the moves that they've made. I think that this offseason is really good so far, right? But if person B comes up and says, all these moves are for nothing, they haven't addressed the real issue, so all these moves don't matter. One person is being positive and one person's being negative. That's clear as day. That's not a perception. That's not well, he is being positive. He's saying that, these moves don't. No, he's being negative. He's choosing to look at it negative. And so my problem with some of the fan base, I'm not saying fans in general. I'm not gatekeeping. I'm not telling fans how to act. I am just saying that if you choose to look at this offseason as anything but positive so far, you are choosing to look at it the wrong way, in my opinion. And I think you're being disingenuous to what the front office has accomplished so far. I'm not saying that I don't want them to address the O-line more. I'm not saying that I'm not nervous about the O-line. I am saying that right now, the Dolphins have done a really good job addressing off-season needs. They haven't addressed everything, but they've done a really good job address off-season needs. So good that I think El Capitan. What's up, El Capitan? I was about to say something about you, and then you came.
El Capitan.
All right, let's get a take from El Capitan.
That's the other culprit right there.
Let's get I had to pop in here real quick.
First, just gonna tell it all right here. What you gotta say?
Lewis know he ain't telling the truth.
Bones a hater. Bones is a hater.
Are you freaking kidding me, you guys? I gotta hear and listen to the hate and vitriol at me and mine for a year and a half. Now we come around to yonder, and now I gotta get it again. Y'all are just some haters.
Okay.
Y'all are some haters.
So
You
now,
just want a bad guy. You want to hello to the bad guy. Is that what you want? You want to hello to the bad guy?
Look at Lewis. Lewis
what the hell is going on? This is
so now I know. So now I know.
Y'all boys are the worst, bro.
I know. Now I know that the Wolf Pack has.
I don't know. I don't know what y'all want. You want the Joker? You want the bad man? You want the good man? Tell me what you want.
Man, I want y'all to be y'all, bro. Just be y'all, bro. That's all I want.
That's all I had to hear was El Capitan.
Here's the problem, El Cap. Fans don't know what the hell they want because they haven't seen what good is. They haven't seen what a good product on the field looks like on a consistent day in, day out basis. So fans in general can say, okay, we see what New England did for 20 years.
Am I hearing you right? Are you saying they're a bunch of idiots and they don't know what they want?
I mean, I never said those words. I'm just saying fans don't know what I'm saying fans don't know what they want.
Morons don't know what they want.
I never say that. I would never come out and say that fans are stupid, and I would never say those words. I would never say that.
He would think it,
these
but he wouldn't say it.
uneducated, feeble-minded morons
they
in
want
this
a good
fan base
quarterback
don't know
or
what
no
they
idea.
want. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, Cap, bro, you the worst, bro. Cap, you the worst, bro.
I'm gonna keep it.
You're not getting me in trouble on my channel, El Capitan. Not gonna
Hey,
do
Cap
it.
is the worst.
No. Not good.
I just don't know what to do.
kindness
I'm
Monday.
over here. I'm
And by the
spreading
way,
kindness from the
I'm a
bedroom
fan,
to your living room.
I'm a fan, so technically I put myself in that conversation too. All right, so
Oh,
I'm
that's a cop
including
out.
myself in the
That's a cop out.
So Stephen D and everyone like him we're all idiots. I'm just confused. I don't know what to do anymore, guys. You know, I'm sitting here on my lunch break. I'm watching here.
Hey,
I'm looking
Cap,
at
that's
everybody.
That's what y'all
Me
get
you.
for switching over to that positivity emoji poop. That's what y'all get for switching over to that positivity emoji poop instead of just keeping it real.
They got Bones on the space by itself the other day, bro, because of y'all.
I tried it, but it ain't
Well,
feel right.
Bones, the definition of keeping it real is being positive. Bones, what you talking about?
Hey, let me
How
speak.
am I going to get to go meet Roger Goodell unless I get it with the program? Tell me. How am I going to become Dolphins fan of the year? How's this going to happen?
I am trolling a little
Yeah,
bit.
you definitely ain't gonna be Dolphins fans of the negative. That's
what I will say, in all seriousness, right, without the trolling, without the fun, is I don't know what fan. I really. We all have measuring sticks, or the eye test. Of
some are smaller than the others.
Some are smaller than other, Bones. You're right. Okay, of what we think what the team should do and how they should be to be accomplished, to be competitive, to be a Super Bowl contender. The reality is, any fan that's 40 or past the age of 40, they saw when the Dolphins were successful in a totally different era of the NFL. Totally different. You can't do what you did 25, 30 years ago to be and still be successful in today's NFL. It's a totally different game.
I beg to differ, but all right, continue.
Hold on. And I will also say that the newer generation, the younger generation, anybody that's probably 35 or below, we've never seen a winner. We've never seen winning from this football team. So when I say, or anybody says what it should take to win,
Never.
I'm really serious. I'm not saying that fans are stupid. I'm not saying that I just think that we as a whole, as a fan base, have no idea because we've never witnessed it. We've never seen it. And we can't expect and for people to be like, well, there's a blueprint in the NFL how to be successful. That's BS too, because the way the Chiefs are doing it, in my opinion, are totally different than the way that New England did it for 20 years. So you can't say there's
a blueprint.
And the Rams.
Win. That's the blueprint.
I understand.
Win. And the
We
Eagles.
ain't winning. We ain't doing it.
And we're not. So I get why fans are upset or dissatisfied or have PTSD. But you also have to admit that.
See, I love
really
how
know?
now
Do we really know what
because
it takes to be successful?
people have differing opinions now. They're PTSD. I don't know. So I think it just needs to get on the whole support of the football team. We're trying to push this into the next level. We're on this train. We're on this ride.
Have I not been that way for 2 years?
Steven, I'm saying, buddy, it's partly you. I've seen the light.
I've been crucified for it.
Yeah, I know, Steven. It's not fair for you.
Yeah, but guess what, Steven?
You're a good, positive, supporting fan. That's for sure.
Look, I believe that I'm very positive, and I choose to see the glass half full. And I also get when people are saying, I also agree when I hear people say, well, look, Tua's not the guy, or, how can you overlook the offensive line inadequacies and not address it from the beginning of free agency? I get it. I understand it. But I go back to my previous statement. I think any fan that chooses to address that and not still look at the positive is being disingenuous to the process of how this franchise is
Agreed. We gotta wait and see, Steven.
But Steven,
we don't know for a fact. Listen, none of us are sitting in the room with these coaches and their plans and designs. We don't know what Vic has said who he wants and doesn't want. Do you think we couldn't have gotten Chauncey Gardner in here? Maybe he said, I don't want that bum on my team. We don't know. We don't understand the intricacies of the high level of absolute geniusness that's happening behind the scenes.
See what I'm talking about? He's still doing it.
That is
He's still doing it.
First of all,
Cap, bro. Why, bro?
Dave, we got to trust the process, Dave. Either get with the program or get off the train, buddy. I don't know what else to say. 2024, bro. This team is built for now. It's built for now, and it's going to be built for later. Why do you think
they're trolling you, bro?
Way, guys?
I mean, I know that they are, but
if it's clear, if it's not clear, that's what I'm saying. It's so
clear. I can't believe you.
Literally
on the day the Dolphins solidify that Tua is fifth-year option, this is the type of response I get from the fan base. You guys are sickening me.
This is breaking up, Rashad. Bad.
This is breaking my heart. You know, I thought I was gonna be met with open arms and a welcoming, positive fan base, and yet all I find is haters in every friggin' corner, Lou. I can't take this, bro. I don't know what else to do.
I agree. It's sickening. It's sickening. It is sickening, Cap.
I see why
the gatekeeping was happening.
Hey, I am not jumping on this board with you and Cap, Lewis. Y'all stop it with the daggone shenanigans already.
You're guilty by association, Bones. You coming along with us? Like
wait a minute. What do you mean, Bones?
Y'all are the worst, bro. I swear.
Hey,
y'all the worst.
Stephen D. Guess what, Stephen D? Guess what, Stephen D?
How am I the worst, Dave?
Stephen D. Stephen D. Guess what?
You're not being genuine, Cap.
Oh my God! Now I'm not genuine.
I can say we made some good moves.
Are you going to say something about
I'm sorry, Steve. I don't mean.
I liked it when you were negative all the time, dog.
This is some bull.
We wasn't negative.
I like when I had to try to talk y'all down all the time, but now y'all just.
But is that really negative though?
I can't believe you guys.
But was that really being negative though?
Don't worry, I was still tuning in to all y'all
like
shows.
Everyone
it's
else
all good.
In this fan base, and I'm still wrong. This is some bull. I don't know what to do. I'm wrong at everywhere I go.
I just want you to be you, Cap.
I'm standing on my bones.
I can see you say flip flop, but it's not being negative.
Just straight peanut butter and jealous. I'm sorry.
Hold on. And Lewis are coming to they're coming to a platform where flip-flopping is allowed. We like to wear flip-flops on this show. And Lewis
had TFTG flip-flops on the channel, Steven, for all of them.
Listen,
100%.
This is Flip-Floppers, home of the number one flip-flop morning show. You can feel free to come and change your narrative at any time you want on this channel.
I can't wait to see y'all on the
channel. See the haters.
I can't wait to hear y'all.
NFL, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Cap is capping."
I did agree. If we was gonna keep,
and then Uno's out here slicing and dicing fools up.
You can be a hater. You can be a hater today and a two and on tomorrow.
We got to make the defense better and the O line better. They made defense better. I ain't too sure about the O-line.
Go get Henry. Go get Henry. Bring that Bama boy back down to the south, and let's have him here with Uno. And watch how this O-line play different with a guy like that behind there.
Facts.
Y'all know he give me another Christmas game. He give me another Christmas game.
Lewis, co-signing for Cap States, okay? Fact.
I agree with him.
I'm gonna send a virus bomb to y'all goddamn Facebook page and blow
Better watch out. Go ahead,
Hey, Steven. Hey, Steven D.
Got an IT department ready to fire back. What's up?
Yo,
I forgot the
got
no whole IT department. I'm over here being a one-man show.
I got
I'm a one-man show. The Fitzgerald's got a whole IT department.
Spread out this month right now.
I
be having that bank information in no time. Watch out now.
Are you happy, Lewis? Are you happy with what you've done?
Are you happy? This is all your fault.
But Stephen D. Hey, Stephen D. Hey, Stephen D. Guess what, Stephen D?
I got to get back to work. I just wanted the hate to stop in this fan base. I don't appreciate it. It's not fair.
This way to go. No hate. No more hate.
Trying to bring down the Dolphins.
Look at Lewis' face.
Rising to the pinnacle
look at Lewis' face as he talks.
All y'all need to get with the program and get on.
I'm so happy you
gave himself away right there.
And Stephen D, you're still out over. You're still a fearless leader. of
I
positivity,
appreciate it.
Stephen D.
Thank
Lewis,
you. Thank you.
Hey,
don't ever
Stephen
play
D.
poker,
Hey,
bro.
Stephen D.
Don't ever
Thank
play
you,
poker.
Steven, for
Captain
all
Lewis,
of your beautifulness.
if I jump
Appreciate you,
on
bud.
board,
I
Also,
love you,
the
Cap.
positivity train,
All right, Cap.
right?
yep,
All right,
Cap.
later, y'all.
All right, Cap. I'm
All
gonna
right,
jump on
Cap.
board with this
We about to get them
positivity
boys
train,
an
right?
Academy Award.
But
Nah, Bones, not
if we
you.
lose
Listen.
more than 5 games, I get to take y'all pinky toes.
At least
I'ma
I
shoot
had
them
one
off.
of my brethren. At least I had one of my
Yeah.
brethren come in here and help me today. I
Okay,
cannot believe this.
you
I'm here to
shot
help
me in
We
you.
the
had
pinky toe, Dan Bones.
on the day on
If
the
we
day
don't,
that
if
Miami
we
Dolphins
lose more than
on the
5
day
games, Lewis, you owe me a
on
pinky
the
toe.
day on the day that Miami officially came out and said they picked up Tua's 5th-year option. This is the kind of show we get. Y'all are some haters. Y'all are
Steven,
some
I want you
straight
to
up
know
haters.
You
something.
ain't no haters. We said if they fix the
Lewis
O-line
has
and the
never
defense,
been
we'll be
behind
good.
getting
Five
a
We did
alive.
big
something good
name
on
running
defense.
back.
Five
I want you to
alive.
remember that,
Hey,
Steven.
hey,
Just
Bones,
said
why do you need a
facts
big
to
time
get Derrick
offensive
Henry
line?
and see how this offensive line
I
play.
don't need one.
All Lewis
I
wants is
don't
an
need
offensive
one.
line. He does
Tua
not
need
care about a
one.
running back. Do not let him get
Offensive
you.
line.
You know
Why
what
does
though?
Tua need one?
Here's some real stuff. Here's
He
the
don't know how
thing.
to fall.
No, Lewis
Hold
not
on,
wrong
hold on,
for running the
hold
offensive
on,
line.
hold on. I got something for you
He's
guys.
taking care of
Here's
that
the
in his
problem.
judo lessons
Crypto,
on
hold on.
Fridays. He's got them
Crypto, hold
bases covered already, Bones.
All right, listen. Here's the problem with Lewis's and El
We're gonna have
Capitan's
to tape all these joints
fake
together.
positivity.
Don't you start, Steven.
It can't last long. You guys aren't genuine about it. What is this gonna last
We
for?
are.
A week? A couple of days?
I
A
would.
couple
The
of
season
months?
ain't started,
for a week.
Stephen.
Huh?
Wait till the spaces start. Come to the
We've already
spaces
been
and
on
watch
it
how
for a
they
week,
act.
Steven. We've already been on this for a week. It's been
Wait a
longer
minute,
than a
no,
week.
Rashad.
I've
Wait a
been
minute.
doing
The
this for
season hasn't
2.5
started. What do you
years.
mean?
You come talk to me
No,
in two
I'm
and a
talking
half
about
years,
tonight.
guys.
I'm
Okay?
talking about today. When the
You
spaces
come
start,
talk to me in 2.5
when
years, and you
everybody's
let
on
me
Twitter,
know.
you will get
Oh,
a
the
whole.
spaces start. You
Positivity.
think it'll die down? Oh, no,
Hey,
this
who
goes
let
into the
this
deep
hater
into the
in?
season.
Who let this hater down here in? Who let Pete in? The hater.
What's up, Pete? Good morning, Pete.
What's up, fellas? Oh, I
Hey,
served my
Steven.
time. I served
Lewis, that's
my
your
time
boy.
well. Shout out to Aldo. You did a great job to the community. You're feeding
It's not my
the
boy no more.
algorithm and helping
That's
out
my
the
boy.
channel grow.
That's
Keep
my
doing
boy
it,
right
guys.
there.
Keep timing out, Pete. The channel is going to continue to grow. Anyways, since we're going to talk football, Steven, remember all these, and it's not too long ago. We can just go back hours
Be
of
positive.
view time on your show, right?
I'm
It's not
telling
days
mama.
or anything. We can go back hours. And
Hours,
I mean,
damn.
hours of the Miami
Listen,
Sports
Linda.
Music
Listen,
Show.
listen,
If
listen,
we
Linda.
just go back hours, this whole panel was being disruptive. They wanted to eat each other, like cannibalism type guys, right? All
Yeah.
because of
We over here
Lamar
talking about
Jackson.
cannibalism?
Yeah,
You trying to
it
get
was that
my
bad.
Look,
The
here
Gazette,
comes
it was
here
that
comes
bad.
Tua
Everybody
blame.
just wanted
He's
to
gonna
know
It
you
was
blame
was
bad.
Tua
alive.
for it.
You
They
didn't
were
be
gonna be
gone. That's all
cooking.
it was.
Some said they
Please
were gonna
let
be
Pete finish.
cooking Pete on the pot at the East Tailgate 32, right? Because I
Right.
was saying
We
we
would
don't need
never
certain
say
players.
such a thing
Wait,
at that,
yeah,
ever.
I did. Oh my God! And I was up here saying we don't need Bobby Wagner. I was up here saying we don't need Jordan Poyer. I was up here saying we don't need Derrick Henry. We don't need. And guys were begging for it, screaming at me. But now, all of a sudden, it's okay to run it back with the same team without those guys that
Yes.
this
Yes, it
fan
is.
base thought was going to be the
We don't need
missing
a running
pieces.
back, Pete. He's got too much
Wow.
tread on the
What
tires.
light switch?
Bobby Wagner is a
Yeah.
bum.
He's
We
gonna
don't need
blow
a running
out. He's
back
gonna get a
anymore.
blowout
Bobby
very
Pete,
Wagner,
soon.
what?
Pete, you
First
said
of
that
all,
because you said
How
all we
don't
need
be
is Skylar
disrespect
Thompson.
defensive talent
That's
like
why
that.
you
did we
said that.
go from needing
We do not need a
Orlando
running back.
Brown
Not that
Jr.
old.
or Mike McGlinchey to not more? How? How do
You
we
said what?
upgrade the running back positions with the David Montgomerys and the Kareem Hunts that were going to come so cheap? But we didn't get none. But we stuck with the core four.
Were they
How?
upgrades?
How?
Because
Explain to me the
they was getting over 4
positivity.
yards a carry,
How?
Pete. That was good enough for McDaniel.
They were getting 4.9 yards a carry behind this terrible, terrible offensive line.
They're not terrible,
Exactly.
Rashad.
That's why they running it back with the running backs.
Run it back 2023.
That's why
Run
they
it
using
back
the same running backs.
2024. running back next year. We are all in, fellas.
We can't even say we
Man,
upgraded the punter
2024.
position. Steven, a few
Well, I
hours
suppose
ago,
we
on
definitely
live
gonna need
few hours,
2024.
we wanted
Crypto, like, I don't know if I
Forsted
can get
back.
with that.
Remember how bad we wanted Forsted back? We didn't
That would be
even
year
get that
6. I don't
piece
know if I'm
back.
ready for that. I'm
He
ready
said,
for
now
a
y'all,
complete rebuild after
now
that.
y'all pushing it. Now y'all pushing it.
We didn't even bring the punter back, guys.
I'm going 5-year cycles, Rashad. I'm only a 5-year cycle guy. You can't do it in 5 years. You gotta recycle.
You can't count the blow up year, man. That's a tank year. That's not
It
the rebuild.
is.
That's
That's
the
official.
destruction. That's
We
the
didn't bring back
destruction.
Mostert,
That's
Pete.
not the rebuild.
Mostert is a bum. We got back.
Yeah, but we won 5 games, so we were building the foundation with 5 games that year.
The
How
long
many players
snapper
left
is
in that
going to
team? 2?
sabotage him, Lewis.
Yeah,
X and
exactly. You
The
Wilkins.
still
long
got
snapper
X.
was a
X and
Morstead
Wilkins.
guy.
That's it. That's all you need.
Damn, that's it. That's crazy.
X and Wilkins. That was it. They the 2 studs in the basement.
Ah, man, that's sad.
That's what they is.
Oh
The 2
wait,
studs in that
oh no,
foundation.
Dieter
Hold
gone.
up.
AVG gone.
I got an even
What we
better
did?
one. Steven.
Yeah,
Yes.
This
ABG
was
Where
like
is
and
a
he
week
gone.
AVG?
of hours of view ago on your show where we were here
I don't know. Needham
complaining
was on that team, wasn't he?
Hold
about
on, Crypto.
Danny
He
Crossman.
was.
We didn't even upgrade the special team coordinator coach. We were crying about that. So we're supposed to still be positive. We downgraded the punter. We didn't switch the punter special coordinator, but we're
He said
supposed to be
downgraded.
positive.
Why we need to
Hater.
What do
upgrade
you make
special teams?
the partner as a
We
downgrade?
ain't running no special plays on no damn special teams.
We signed a Pro Bowl punter, Pete.
Any
Yeah.
acquisition of special teams is
Hey,
an upgrade by default.
hey, Pete,
Because our special teams is trash.
we don't need a punter because we gonna be scoring touchdowns all year, cuz we don't need no punter.
Right, that's
We
true.
gonna be scoring
And any
touchdowns all
upgrade on
year.
special teams is any change on special teams is the upgrade by default.
You know what Bailey's gonna be doing all year? Taking a nap on the bench because he ain't got to play on Sundays.
And that's how I know.
Nobody worried about no Thomas Morstead not playing here.
Steven, you woke me up because we do have an aggressive coach, and he is gonna go for it on 4th. Don't cry. Week 8, when our defense is allowing 20-something points because we're not converting on those 4s. Do not call and say Mike McDaniel is not calling good plays. Don't cry because this is what y'all wanted. I'm glad I clipped this. And
Hey man, you gotta be positive, Pete. I don't mind 4 hard games. I'd rather play 4 hard than punt anyway.
Bones, I look just like Lewis flipped.
I don't punt on Matt.
You know what, Bones? There's one thing about my job. I deal with a lot of senior citizens that I love. I love these old people, okay? And some of them are Dolphin fans, and they're hitting 90. They're pushing P's out here, man. They're about to hit. I met a guy called Mr. Freschetti who is 87 years old. He loves the Dolphins. It's been a long time. He's a fan.
Anybody here,
Bones?
Even thought of.
Bones, put your thing on mute.
He wants it. We can't just be patient because you guys are under 40. That's not fair. That is absolutely selfish for fans these days to sit up here and say, well, we have time to develop this guy and this guy.
Are you listening?
No.
Pete, are you listening? Pete, are you listening? Listen.
For the senior
what
citizens
you just said
from now on. I'm not
is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've
Hey,
ever
Pete,
heard.
I'm not a senior citizen, but I appreciate you
In
speaking
your
up for us.
rambling, incoherent response, were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought?
I speak
Everyone
for the
in this room
citizens.
is now dumber for having listened to it.
Agreed.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
May God have mercy on your soul.
Hey, Pete, I appreciate you speaking for the seniors, man.
I love that. I love my seniors, man. These guys need help,
you
man.
know, I do have
they
a
listen
position.
to the fan base and they're like, what are these guys talking about?
What we should upgrade? There is something this team should upgrade. We should upgrade these hater ass fans that we have in this community. Start being positive. It's running it back. We brought everybody back. Tua's coming back for 5th year. We are on our way, gentlemen.
Defense.
I can't wait until my guy
And Rashad, the reason why the 5th year works in the rebuild, because we doing it the Trent Dilfer route. We're going to build a super defense with Fangio and let Tua manage our way to the dance.
Hold on, Crypto. I got to go at Lewis for a second because he's telling me I have to be positive. Lewis,
be positive.
Just 10 minutes of view time ago, just 10 minutes of it ago, we can rewind and hear you and Capitan beg for Derrick Henry. What's the problem?
No.
You don't like Raheem
No.
Mostert? How can you
I
flip
love
so quick?
everybody.
Like, I don't get it. You're not a Raheem Mostert guy? You don't believe in Jeff Wilson? Why would you want Derrick Henry? I thought everything is good.
No, Derrick Henry's washed up.
You know what?
If Cap said that, I don't agree with that. I thought he was talking about the
agreed with it. You agreed with it. It's here on the.
You said facts, Lewis.
Well, he's not quite washed up, but put it like that, he's got a lot of tread on the tires.
Why would the TFTG? You see, this is what I think happened to
If you are not on my team, I don't care about you. Screw Derrick Henry. Screw Mostert. We don't need Bobby Wagner. All right?
Yeah.
I bleed aqua and orange, baby. That's what I
bleed. The fans receipt. All right? You know what I think happened, Steven?
Tell him, Lewis.
Hey, Steven.
I like this new Lewis. I don't care what you say.
The Miami Dolphins is where old running backs come to die.
I like this Lewis.
Except freaking Ricky Williams. He's the only exception.
Why did Capitan back out, man?
Listen, that's what we need out here. We need the positivity out here.
Steven.
If you ran more than 3 years, you don't deserve to be on this team as a running back.
Hey, Steven.
To a time.
Steven, you said Crypto's the guy behind the Fins receipt, right? So if Crypto's the guy behind the Fins receipt,
just let it flow through you, Pete. Let it flow through you.
I know.
Hey, the Fins receipt is actually the Fins tailgate.
One more time, Lewis.
The Fins receipt cooked the TFTG gang, guys.
Two a time. Time, guys, on the shot. Two a time.
What was that, Pete?
The Fins receipt has cooked the TFTG because ever since the Fins receipt put them on blast on Twitter, they have flipped the script. The Fins receipt wins again. The Fins receipt has won again. He had posted the TFTG gang to go positive. The Fins receipt wins.
Put a name on it, Pete. Put a name on it, Pete. Who did he get? Who did he get?
He got the TFTG click, the entire click. He done switched them all of them up. Unbelievable.
That guy is a hater. That guy is a hater.
Ever since that tweet last week, y'all done flipped positive. I guess the Fins receipt
y'all did.
I guess the Fins receipt is out here teaching people how to play. Wow.
The Fins receipt.
Receipts wins again. Crypto, you did it, bro. Crypto, you did it.
You talking about me, Pete?
That's what you were.
He said you were Fins receipts.
Crypto, are you Dolphins? Are you Dolphins receipts on Twitter? Crypto, is this breaking news?
No.
Cook them to positivity.
No, you might be talking about on Spaces. I don't have no Twitter account. Fins receipts.
He's talking about on Twitter. Twitter has pulled y'all receipts, and y'all have flip flopped. Is what Peter's saying.
Man. Flip-flop.
No, he talking about a different account. That's not me.
They can't.
Man, I look good in my flip-flops.
Hey, Steve,
only in day.
They're flip-flopping, but you could tell they don't really know how to flip-flop
CB,
right. They said run it back 2023, right?
I got a tank top and some
but yet they're still asking for
only in day.
I don't get it.
Hey,
asking for who, Pete?
In the chat, and he's saying Wolfpack.
They just asked for Derrick Henry 10 minutes ago.
You've been nothing but positive.
Oh, Derrick Henry. You didn't hear that from me. I told you my criteria running back.
No
more than 3 years.
No Wolfpack. You've recused yourself from the Wolfpack, right? You have retired.
At least with Mike McDaniel in this style offense.
I have cleansed myself of the Wolfpack.
You cleansed yourself. So, hey, CB, he is no longer part of the Wolfpack, Lewis. He is
Amen.
Hey.
First of all, we took a positivity baptism.
I'm associated.
Are we talking about resignations going on? What the hell is going on? Wait a minute.
Right here today in the book of Dolphin, in the house of Dan Marino, we have our brother Lewis, who has testified to the righteousness of positivity, to the Miami community. And Lord, let me tell you, he has renounced
Wait a
the
minute.
weight of the devil, of negativity, of the negative Nancy. And Lord, I'm here to tell you today that the Dolphins will be Super Bowl champions.
Can we get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
You cannot.
Can we get an amen?
You cannot fight thoughts with thoughts. You can't fight
that
thoughts
devil
with thoughts.
is a lie.
And we gotta take positive thoughts.
I don't play with God, so I'm gonna say hallelujah.
It ain't about playing with God, man. It's about understanding that thoughts cannot defeat thoughts. It has to be a change on the inside, and that change on the inside is
That's some
recognizing
philosophical stuff right there. That's deep. Damn,
we have the best
defeat thoughts.
Thoughts cannot defeat the thoughts.
I love it.
That's a good one.
Come on, man.
I'm putting that on a t-shirt right now.
T-shirt right now.
Put a name on it.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Thoughts cannot defeat thoughts. I'm tweeting that right now.
You're welcome. You are welcome. I got that
I'll
from
definitely put
I
that
got
on
that
a
out of
t-shirt,
Tua's
G.
locker. That was on Tua's locker, man. That was in Tua's locker. He got that after he looked in the mirror and he was like, you know what? I am him. I am him. And see, he realizes it now. We're going to see a whole different level of confidence coming from Tua. When Tua get to the line this year, man, he going to see something ain't right. He going to be able to change it. The man is in the playbook. The man is in the gym. He drinking raw eggs, shadow boxing, jumping rope.
And he
they not ready for Tua.
He out here
drinking raw eggs, man. There you go. That's hey, he got the eye of the tiger.
Hey, real quick. I want to call out Pete right now. Okay, I came on this right now, Pete, bro. Listen, I know you're better than this. Okay, that is disgusting.
Hold up.
What you be put on Twitter?
You know you just lied.
Absolutely disgusting.
Do you really think he's better than that?
What?
Pete, the things that
Congratulations, Mark. Mark just said he's cutting his cock off with a dull butter knife.
That is disgusting, bro.
What are you talking about?
It doesn't.
What are
it doesn't
you
matter.
talking about,
Nobody wants to relive that Cincinnati game. But for you, nobody wants to relive that Cincinnati game. But for you to keep on putting the stuff that you put on from that Cincinnati game, especially when he almost died in the field.
Wait a minute, what happened?
It's
now?
not funny. I don't find it funny.
Wait a minute.
I really don't.
Wait a minute, what just happened?
Funny at all. I don't find it funny. And nobody should be laughing about this at all.
Alex, that's a
Wait a minute, what are you talking about? Something on Twitter?
Alex, what's going on?
Alex, I don't know that Pete said anything bad. At least I wasn't.
I don't even. Yeah, I'm lost now.
I'm lost, Alex.
You don't like highlights, Alex?
He puts the gif of Tua laying down in the field when he got a concussion against the Cincinnati game.
On Twitter? Pete?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Come on Twitter.
That's disgusting.
I gotta go look at this, Pete. I gotta go look.
Put it up. Check it out.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that one. That shit was kind of scary.
This is the problem.
Nobody wants to relive that, man. Nobody wants to relive that. Not one.
This is the problem with Dolphin fans.
And here's the thing. It's like that for anybody.
DeMar Hamilton actually did die on the field, so that's a big difference.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. The Bengals fans.
It does. DeMar actually did. They revived him.
I will defend.
Hold on. All right,
hold on. If somebody puts up that about DeMar Hamilton, I will call them out just as much as I will call them out about Tua.
Listen,
you're
gonna pull it up, Steve.
All right, I'm not pulling it up because it's video
of
when
sin. It is a sin.
I have looked at all the evidence, and based on the evidence, I gotta say, Pete, you were wrong, negative, low, and not cool, bro. Not cool, Pete.
That's fine. That's a highlight. Only you guys
It
don't
doesn't
see it
matter.
as
It
a
doesn't
highlight.
matter if it's a highlight or
That's
not.
y'all haters. That's a
Pete, I can honestly
That's
say
not
I
being. That's not hating.
understood your point. I understood your point,
It's a
but
highlight.
to put that out there like that, that is a
That's
little
that's
crazy.
a
But I
highlight.
understood your point behind the whole thing, though.
Oh, so
We
y'all
all know.
understand the
We
point.
all.
Oh,
We
okay.
all know.
Okay,
But
We
that's
well,
all.
still a
We
highlight.
all know that
I'm
Tua's
trying.
injured,
I
Con. I
haven't seen
get that,
this, so
but
I
bro,
can't
don't
comment.
put up.
Hey, you
Don't
think
put up that
Bengal
injury
player
again.
is not looking at that like,
I
yeah?
can't comment.
All right,
I
give me
haven't
1
seen the
second. Let me
tweet.
go get
That's
somebody
what's
down.
happening. Only you guys cry over that play. It's forbidden in the fan base. Oh my God. The rest of the NFL is looking at it as
If
a
another
like.
quarterback was on there, that's not on our team. That put. If somebody put that up there, of another quarterback, I will call them out just as much as I'm calling you out right now.
Again,
That was
though,
a different
man,
quarterback
Tua
on the
is
ground.
shadow boxing right now,
You know
listening to Drake,
doggone well you ain't finna
listening to
call
Drake.
nobody else out for their own
Oh,
team
I
like you do
will.
with
Started from the
Tua.
I will
bottom
Alex,
now,
call.
stop
yeah.
lying to
I
yourself,
will
man.
call.
I hate when people
Bones.
lie to
I will.
themselves over dumb stuff.
No, because that's a human being. That's a human being. At the end of the day,
Stop
that's a
Man,
human
Tua
being.
got thick
so
skin, man.
so
Tua
so
got thick skin. That ain't
like
bothering
they
Tua, man.
quarterback getting knocked
That's
out.
That's a human being,
motivation.
just like us.
Cesar says Pete is the type to show up at a funeral and start telling jokes. Now, if
That's
it's a
Pete
motivation,
comedian
is the
man.
type
funeral,
to show to a funeral and
What?
starts to tell jokes. Hell yeah. Y'all better
You
do
think
that
Tua
if you
ain't
go to
motivated,
every
man?
single
back you
funeral.
up.
You think Tua ain't
Y'all better
motivated?
not be all.
Pete, I
Y'all.
cannot back you up,
Hey,
Pete.
G,
Are you
That's
been
fine.
motivated from day
You gotta
one.
say
Man,
jokes. You gotta
hey,
do all of that.
Crypto,
Rest
you
in
are
peace,
not
man.
They not ready.
introducing yourself, Pete.
They not ready. Hey, you remember the scene? You
Right.
remember the scene on Remember the Titans when the
Yeah.
You're a
quarterback
better person
Sunshine
than
got
that,
in
but
there?
bro, that's
Sunshine said,
disgusting, man.
Sunshine said,
That
let him
really
through.
is.
Sunshine said, let him through. Boy, that big old defensive tackle came in there, huh? And
Yeah.
Tua did that little duck under, man. Hey, that's how it's gonna be this year, boy. Tua gonna be like, let him
That's
through.
what
Let
There
him
you
it's
through.
gonna
go.
be.
Let him
Run
through.
it
Let me
back
show him what I
2023.
when Tua slides,
Same thing
when
is gonna
Tua
happen
slides, he gonna do a leg
every
sweep
year.
and a 360 when he slides. So not only is he gonna slide, he gonna take out the defender that's coming to get him. Bro, I'm telling you, they're not ready for Hong Kong Tua.
See, I told him
Damn, Hong Kong tour?
1 o'clock already.
No,
I
it's
don't know
not
about
I
Hong
that.
probably
Kong.
still got like.
They're gonna
I think I probably
actually
still
make
got
him
like
a
15
ninja
more.
turtle on the
I'll
field to
check in a
protect
minute.
him. They're gonna have a big shell on his back.
Oh my
See all
God,
these
Pete.
orders I'm driving fast that I should be working.
It's funny though, but that's the
Hey,
word.
every time
Funny.
Tua slides, he gonna slide into a leg sweep, and the defender gonna get taken out. No penalty call because hey, you're not supposed to hit a quarterback that's sliding, so he's sliding into a leg sweep. He got it, man. I mean, I don't mean to leak it out there, man, because I
Robert
got
says,
sources and
Steven,
stuff.
you better not
But
mourn my daggone funeral. When I'm dead, I got no effing problems. So drink and have fun. Hey, I'm with
Exactly, Robert. Exactly.
There you
But they're
go.
over here.
He just gave permission to Pete to do whatever we wanted.
Hey, when I die, just as always, just donate to the channel. Help the channel.
It can't always be sorrows at
Hey,
funeral. You got to show some
Brian,
kind of,
is
uplift.
Brian Terry, are you positive, Brian Terry, about this football team, Brian Terry?
Brian, where you been at, Brian? Brian has
Yeah,
been.
Brian's
Hey,
been-
y'all know Brian's
Brian's
been ghost since that 5th year option.
he understand. Brian's understand.
Brian, what's up, man? Get off mute.
I see you guys brainwashing people very early today.
No,
look,
put a name on it, Brian.
Put a name on it. The brainwashing is real strong.
Can we stop
Put
brainwashing
a
the
name
fan
on it.
base?
Here's what we're doing this off season. Lewis and I are starting a new show on Mondays called Spread Positivity Mondays.
You guys
and that's
don't
what we're
spread.
doing up here.
Wait, I thought you guys spread enough positivity.
Stephen D is the leader of our Stephen D is the Joel Osteen of this fan base.
I love it. The Joel Osteen of this fan.
He's the Joel Osteen of our
That's a false
congregation.
gospel,
Can I
Crypto.
get my private jet and my expensive cars and my
Joe
big house?
Osteen got in trouble for dark
Please.
stuff. I don't know if you
Steven.
want to be that guy.
Stealing from the congregation.
He
Joel
was
Osteen.
negative. He was
I'm
only
just saying.
positive for the camera. Negative
Look,
behind closed
here's
doors. So, Lewis,
here's
how
the
are
real
those
thing,
private conversations
Brian.
going?
There's so much negativity.
No, Pete. Joel Osteen. That's what we need.
We can't allow any more negativity in this fan base, Brian. That's why we have to be positive. We need positive people out here. Because this
is
negative
a disaster.
And look, Lewis might not believe in it, but one day he might wake up and it will just have washed over him like the waters of I don't know what the waters of what, but it could wash over him of the waters of positivity.
But
And he
I
could
do
be-
have.
There you go.
I do have one thing though. If we are going forward with Tua,
I believe too, Lewis. I believe.
Unfortunately, we are moving with Tua. For right now, right? Draft night. We already know Tom Brady's still in the background, so let's keep our hopes alive, guys.
Hey, Brian, real talk.
Right is wrong.
No. Brian, I'm about to piss off a lot of people. I said this.
Hey, I'm sorry, Steven. I just realized that was Brian Terry. What up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, man? What's up?
What happened when? Tell us more about Tom
We at the
Brady,
barbecue,
Brian.
Brian. What's up, cuz? What's up, man? Hey, look, you bring the coleslaw next time and the potato salad, okay? That way we eating good. All right. Anyways, as I was saying,
I'm barbecue.
A lot of people here.
I need some coasters for my beer. That's what I need.
Right. Coasters. We got koozies. We got koozies. Anyway, what I want to say is I truly believe this, and people are going to think I'm crazy, and I'm not trying to put out a false narrative. I'm telling you my opinion and what I truly feel.
We know you.
I
thought
believe-
Applebaum was a good creator.
Shush, you just be quiet down there with your horrible gas station attendant takes. Anyways, as I was saying, I believe in my heart of hearts that Chris Greer and Stephen Ross have had private conversations that if Tua goes down, the phone call will be picked up and placed to some quarterback who's retired.
Steven, Mike White's dad is watching. Mike White's dad is watching.
I'm just telling you.
We got
Mike
White.
We
got
I don't want no retired quarterback, Steven.
Did you read the name under my thing, by the way?
Just
it says Pete's Take, but then it says another name.
Who are you talking about, Steven? Tom Brady?
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. A quarterback that happens to have a couple of Super Bowl wins, a couple of MVPs, a couple of comeback player of the years. That guy. Okay,
wait, we're talking about excuse me, talking about the 5
we shouldn't do that if we move forward.
Hold on.
Talking about the 5-time Super Bowl MVP, Tom Brady.
You know
if
what?
Tua goes down with a significant injury, it has already been discussed. And the phone calls.
Well, you know that's less. Hold on. If we using logic, we using logic. We know that Tua is most likely going to get hurt. So with that logic, Tom Brady to Miami, is that what you're saying, Stephen D?
I just believe that if
he can't play a full season, already proven.
Here's what I said.
You can't prove he can't.
I said
if
Tua goes down.
It sound like a savior is coming there, Bone. And Stephen D is leading us.
Listen,
can I talk for the senior
I'm not saying if Tua. Time out.
Mr. Daniels, you're fired.
Hold on. I'm not saying
Pete, you need us to talk for the senior citizens, Pete.
I'm not saying if Tua goes down with an injury. I'm saying if Tua goes down with a significant, long-lasting injury. If he
this is the thing, Steven, this is the thing. When I spoke about
last name, we got a baby. It's a boy. Okay, I'm telling you, that's the phone. It's going to be a 1-800 collect because they don't want to pay for the charges.
What about with the first injury? Hold on. What about
Steven, this is the thing.
A bunch of hate up here.
Wait. The first injury is already significant. What are you talking about? Long lasting. If he gets hurt, like that's not good. So what are we talking about?
Steven,
wait for.
I believe that they think that he's going to be fine this year. I truly believe that they.
And they thought he was going to be fine in the Green Bay Packers game. Stop the nonsense.
I'm just telling you what I think.
Steven, this is a study I did.
BT, where you been?
He was a senior citizen. Mr. Freschetti is 87 years old. What I instantly noticed from him, right, when I was talking Tua, he needed his walker. He needed his cane. When I spoke Tom Brady to Miami, he was like a puppy again. He was walking around. He didn't need any of that. He was moving so swift that I like Tom Brady makes people move.
Pete, you might this. Pete, the fact that you agree with me makes me not want to believe in that take anymore. So don't agree with me. Just disagree so I can.
Senior citizens need Tom Brady. It makes them drink their coffee with a little bit more satisfaction.
Hey, what's the cutoff age for senior citizen, Pete?
Right now, I'll say 109.
Right now, no, there's a age.
109.
Pete,
109. God damn.
65.
Hey.
65. Hold on, Steven. 65?
No, 55 has an 55.
I'm 17 years away from that.
No.
Well, then,
How old are you,
motherfucker, you
Crypto?
are
Even
a
though-
god dag. I see. I'm
Crypto.
cussing. I apologize. Swear jar on me.
Crypto, how old are you?
You old. You old.
I'll be
Crypto.
48 in
though,
June.
Even
All
though
right,
Pete,
so the cutoff
even
line
though
is
Pete is a
65.
hater, I still love Pete. Even though he's a hater, I still love Pete.
I mean, I love Pete
We
too.
we all love each other, but somebody has to speak to the
Pete's
senior
that
citizens.
cousin at the
I mean,
family
I could be
at
here.
the family reunion that nobody wants to claim that. Well, he's like a second or third cousin.
Hey,
he's way down the
They
line.
can't wait till
He's
he
not a
leaves,
first
right?
cousin.
And
He's
that's the cousin.
I may not be
That's the cousin
65, but I still got an AARP card.
Me and him a dip round the corner while the funeral going on, and we going to.
Once I
smoke
leave,
a
the
joint
real
or
bottles
something.
come out.
Yeah, Pete's that cousin that shows up towards the end of the reunion or the end of the barbecue because he didn't want to do any work to help put the barbecue together.
That's a
And
question.
He come in and grab one chicken drum, a drumstick, and a thigh,
that's
and head
Pete.
out with some mashed potatoes.
And then he leaves just as quick as he came in. But we're all happy that he
Hold on,
decided to leave
can I
just as
ask a
quickly as he
question?
came in.
Can I
Go
ask
ahead.
If we were to trade Tua in a perfect,
That's never going to happen. We're not
I
doing
think
it.
it's the best
We're
case
not
scenario.
trading Tua.
We're never going to trade him.
The worst case scenario with Tua.
Brian, listen, we are never going to trade
The
Tua
extension is
Tagovailoa.
coming.
Oh, of course,
The extension
He's
is
on a
coming.
7-year plan, Brian.
Of course, you're going to be mediocre forever, so why not? You've been mediocre for 20 years, and you get something a little better, and now you think it's elite. Stop the nonsense.
Is this
Cut it
hater
out.
up here? Why is this hater up here?
I miss Brian Terry, man.
What is
I don't
going
care if y'all
on?
call him a hater. I miss that. Tell the truth, Brian. They don't like it.
Hater.
Stop instigating, Bones.
I have a question. In this perfect
I'm gonna have to tell EM on you. You're not allowed to instigate without EM, Bones. I'm gonna have to call my homie EM on you for that instigating. Stop it.
Hey, man.
Let me ask
Brian,
you a question, right?
Tell him how you feel, Brian. Where you been at?
In the best
First
case
of all,
scenario, right? In the best
nobody want to hear your football. Where you been at?
Hey, Lewis, read Trucker Sean's comment at the bottom of the screen, Lewis.
I said, we don't want to hear your football takes. Where you been at? We've been looking for you for 3 weeks.
Ever since the 3 weeks is when we got.
Don't worry, fins up.
Signing the 5th-year option.
Don't worry,
Doesn't
fins
it
up.
add up, Bones?
Huh?
Poor Dade and Steven with a panel full of dingle dorks. Wayne D said.
Tell him I got some
dingleberries. I've never heard of dingle
Pete's
dorks.
got his jersey already.
Pete, you got a jersey?
Yeah,
Yep.
You got that white Skyler.
He's got a jersey.
Pete, do you have a Mike White Dolphins jersey already, Pete?
No, but I promise you, you guys really want to know what I bought yesterday?
What'd you buy yesterday, Pete?
I bought a Skylar Thompson card. But listen to this. It's a misprinted Skylar Thompson autograph with a Marshall Falk picture in the front. The back of the card.
Bought a bubble gum with that.
Dude, listen to this. This is going to be an
Pete, I could have
iconic
saved
card.
you some money. You could have donated that show to me, and I would have found a card.
This is an iconic card. This is a Skylar Thompson misprint, an autograph misprint.
What are you talking about? His whole career's been a misprint.
Wait.
I know you're not talking. Really?
Why do you guys think we're running it back? Why do you guys think Tom Brady's not here? Why do you guys think TFTG gang is crying since they didn't get Lamar Jackson?
Oh,
Why?
Lewis, y'all crying now, Lewis?
Whoa.
I didn't know y'all were crying, Lewis.
That's cap.
Wow.
The man is out here capping and lying out here.
These
That's
guys
pure
have
hate.
to switch up
That is
since
pure hate.
Lamar Jackson didn't pull up. It's all because of Skylar Thompson.
Hey, Bones, you look like Coolio, bro. Go back on the screen, cuz. What up, Coolio?
I got my hair picked up, cuz.
Boy, I thought it was Coolio there for a minute.
I ain't gonna lie, Bones, your forehead is just as big as Dade County, boy.
I told y'all we the forehead gang. Y'all gonna get off my forehead, cuz. My thing's sweet. My wife love it. She rub it all the time.
That's where I wear hats all day, Bones. I don't want people to see my big ass forehead.
I don't wear hats. They gonna look at my sexy dormitory. Okay.
You see, this is all brains right here. This is all smarts, all brains.
It ain't empty at all.
It's not hollow at all.
Not at all. See, nice and solid.
Robert says, Stephen D, it's common for Pete to cap when it comes to Skyler. Oh, I should know this. I'm sorry, Robert. You're right. Pete definitely is a cat.
So in the perfect scenario, we trade Tua. What will we get for him?
Brian.
Like, I've been asking, like,
happened, buddy.
This question been bothering me all week. And I said,
Pete is in all black. I learned from Lewis. We are in all black. Dark. It's been negative on this side. It is what it is.
Should we just be negative and just pretend like it's a funeral?
Why you always on the swing, Pete? You out there stalking the little kids?
I just got here to just chill with y'all.
Pete, why?
Hey, look at Pete! Look at Pete!
I'm on the swing.
Hey, Pete,
baby.
show us that jersey, Pete.
You always
Pete, are you wearing the jersey?
No jersey right now, man.
Pete, that's what you call rocking out with
citizens.
You swinging.
I speak for the senior citizens. Pete originally is a good guy. I am a positive guy.
Jarvis Eubank says the
citizens
panel.
Need a voice. They do not know YouTube. They don't know how to go on Twitter Spaces. It's past their time. I am the voice, baby. A lot of them.
Jarvis Eubank says the panel. I haven't played a single down in football, and me and Tua got the same playoff record. Only difference, he got a 4-year head start.
Exactly.
That is hate. That is hate.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
Exactly.
Really? That is hate. That is hate.
Joey says, "Is Mike White better than Skyler?" Question mark.
No.
That's
Mike White is not better than Skyler. And I just want to say, and I have my face on it. And I have my face on it. I like Mike White. I honestly think Mike White brings more to the table than what Tua can. So that's what I want to say about Mike White. But he is not better. He is not a more polished quarterback than Skyler Thompson. Guarantee. Moving forward, I honestly believe our quarterback is going to be Skyler Thompson.
No, Skyler Thompson on practice squad.
We would not. This fan base will be screaming Skyler. The light on his eyes dropped, not because of him. It was because of Waddle. It was because of Mike Gesicki in the fourth quarter.
But if he was that good, I'd get a backup quarterback.
That's why we lost.
Said,
how would
is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God
have mercy on your soul, Pete. That's all I know.
Why don't you play that same clip for yourself with Applebaum take?
The trade deadline is not over with. Let's be real. How many of y'all would be mad if they traded for Lamar Jackson or something?
That's what I'm trying to say, Bones. We got to keep the hope alive.
I would be mad.
When is the trade line over with? Trade deadline over
week 7 or week 8, something like that.
Yeah, so
I think they pushed it back this year too. They're gonna push it back.
Triple S podcast says hashtag Ask Stephen D. Ask Brian Terry to talk about Danny Crossman and why he still has a
Hold on. It's too much problems in the Dolphins front office.
Didn't I bring it up earlier?
Hold on, Pete. Hold on. It's too much things to worry about with this organization. We're just terrible all around. I got to worry about Danny Crossman. I got to worry about his 5th-year option. I got to worry about Lamar Jackson. I got to worry about a lot of stuff. Okay.
Boo this man.
Boo him. Boo this man.
I can't believe
but we want to blame Josh Boyer. We want to blame Josh Boyer, but Danny Crossman got a
Boyer's
job.
not here anymore. That's why it's gone.
There's a reason Josh Boyer said, "Bye, Felicia."
If you're gonna upgrade the team, don't half-ass it. If you're gonna go take out Josh Boyer and get an upgrade, you go take out Danny Crossman because Danny Crossman was low in the rankings too. He was terrible in special teams. You stop the nonsense.
Bro.
Exactly, Brian. I was trying to get them to talk about that, but they don't. That's
because he's the scapegoat for next year. Hold on,
wait a minute. Let's be honest. No, let me ask y'all a question.
Brian, you know what they told me, Brian? They told me he's a Pro Bowler, and some of these guys were the same guys that were saying, "Oh, Pro Bowl's nothing. Brian Huntley made it. It's nothing. It's fan driven. So now you guys are gonna use the Pro Bowl thing with
Pete, are you allowed to bring? Are you allowed to be around kids' playgrounds, man? Are you allowed to be around kids' playgrounds, Pete?
Yeah. Why can't I? I buy it for the kids, but when they're gone, I swing.
Pete, you know why? You know why they don't want to talk about special teams? Because that's the scapegoat for next year. When Tua fail, they're gonna say special teams.
Real quick question. Real quick question, Pete and Brian. What are we really going to do on special teams? What can Danny Crossman really change up on special teams? Wait. Let me finish. What can he really change up when 90% of the kickoffs go in the end zone? Most of the punts, they're fair catch. So
I disagree, Bones. How many people ran it on us?
Why do you need to fire?
Hold on, Bones. Hold on, Bones. You can't tell me you watch. Hold on, Bones. You can't tell me you didn't watch special teams and see the teams getting all the yardage. You're talking about what? Kicking out the end zone.
That's because
Brian. How many yards we're giving up on special teams and field position, and we also had a terrible field goal kicker. Like, what are we talking about here?
They're not thinking field goal kicker, but the worst decision
the guy was ranked
Brian,
the below 20s. Like, what are we saying here? If you want to upgrade all the way.
Guys' mind? Does this not cross you guys' mind? This is the scariest thing.
Since we got Vic Fangio,
since we got Vic
it's
Fangio,
delusion. That's it. You're coping. It's not positivity. You're just coping with mediocrity because you can't do nothing about it.
I'm over here playing in the corner with the emoji, with the poop emoji. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out is y'all being for real or not. I'm gonna throw this at one of y'all.
This is what I'm saying because they didn't want to talk about this earlier. They think everything is a game, Brian and Bones, and it's not. Realistically, moving forward, they don't care about punting. They really don't. Mike McDaniel, he might go for it more on fourth down because he trusts his Vic Fangio and this expensive defense, and that's gonna burn us.
No,
that's gonna burn us.
Short field consistently.
That's gonna hit us hard. And that's what they're not paying attention to, Brian, as a fan. That's why they didn't care.
And Pete, hold on, let's not forget.
We're gonna lose games.
Because we're gonna change up the game, cuz no more punts, no more field goals.
Hold on, Bones, hold on. Our punter was the best thing on our special team, Morstead. But besides the point, nobody can make the argument why is Javon Holland and all these guys punt returning, Cedric Wilson and these guys. Why? Why we didn't go get a returner? Why did we get? Hold on, no. Why we didn't get a kicker
with Barrios?
Now we did, but why we didn't? Okay, but why we didn't do that last year?
I don't know, but this is the problem. Y'all are talking about, well, why didn't they do X, Y, and Z? Well, when they address it, then you're like, well, why didn't they do it the year before? They saw it as a negative. They saw it as a potential weak spot that they need to address. They address it. And then they kept it, and now they're keeping it moving. Like,
if you're gonna upgrade the team, you don't have asset. You don't go say, "Oh, Josh Boy, you did a bad job," even though you had a lot of injuries.
He did do a bad job.
Hold on, wait here. Hold on. Yeah, Josh Boy, you did a terrible job, even though you had a lot of injuries. I mean, yes, you lost your top quarterback.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Hold on, wait. No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's nonsense because Vic Fangio, who's even an elite defensive coordinator, we got Jalen Ramsey. You stop the nonsense. You stop the nonsense. He did not even have his eat it.
On paper, Brian, do we not have the best secondary in the NFL right now? On paper.
Yes, and when our defense was top defense with Brian Flores, we had a top dual cornerback too.
But see, now you're going back 2 years.
So I'm saying you're trying to make it seem like, oh, look, Josh Boyd didn't even have Brian Jones. He didn't have Byron Jones. Vic Fangio, who's even an elite defensive coordinator, went and got another elite cornerback. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, that doesn't matter. That's why you're paying all that money, because it matters.
Stupid plays, bro.
Boyer was
That's why
trash,
he's
and they
not
got him
here.
out of there.
He ran stupid plays, but the special team coordinator got a job.
Brian, they said exit stage
He ran
left.
stupid plays, but Mike McDaniel didn't run stupid plays too. Stop the nonsense. Both of them was the Josh Boyer. Hold on.
The offensive coordinator was smarter than the defense coordinator. I can tell you that much.
McDaniel made some bad calls. I'm telling you, I did.
Yes,
what, like three the whole year?
Bad calls
3 or 4?
Josh Boyer did. Stop the nonsense.
3 or 4 the whole
Josh
year.
Boyer was the one saving our asses towards the end of the season.
40 or 50 all fucking year. Make up your
Brian,
mind, man.
Brian, he said, I don't know what Brian is talking about, but he has Brady as his avatar. That tells me all I need to know. Get him out of here. Brian, you're gone for 10 minutes. I love you, bud, but you're gone for 10 minutes.
Man, the more money, the checks start clearing. Sounds like the checks start clearing.
I don't understand what Brian Terry was watching. Our dude, we had him 3rd and 18 or something.
There were multiple situations last year where we can look and say, what in the world is Boyer running? Like, why is this the defensive scheme that we're running in this situation? There were multiple times when I went to Reason's channel, Dudley's channel, TD's channel, when they were watching all 22, and I was like, that's the defensive package that we're working with on this particular down in this section and this time of the game, and it makes no sense whatsoever. So I don't care if he was decent. We always talk about at all times, right? I'll give you a prime example. One of the number one arguments I get about Tua, okay, is it's not his potential. It's not whether he's done good. If you have a chance to upgrade out of position, you should. Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, so on and so forth, right? Or even back with the Deshaun Watson back in the day. Well, why won't you use that same energy when we're sitting here talking about Boyer and Fangio? Fangio is clearly a huge upgrade over Boyer at calling defense of plays and having defensive schemes and getting good personnel and getting the most out of his players. So even if Boyer had a decent season, you had a chance to go get Fangio. You improve, you do it, you get better. And Fangio by far, without even a question, is a better defensive coordinator than Boyer would be on his best day. Just want to throw that out.
The only way we'll find out if Boyer was trash is if Vic Fangio could do it without Ramsey, with a banged-up defense, and have the Cater Kohus of the world step up and rank as one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL, according to PFF.
Well, there's a reason that Sam Madison still stayed. Because he was good with the secondary.
And what's the reason for Patrick Surtain leaving to college?
He went to FSU to be the FSU secondary coach. That's like a top 5 job in all of college football at that position.
And you have a top NFL job.
Not really. Not with he was the assistant to Madison.
Still better to be in the NFL than college.
That's not true in certain situations.
Yes, it is. Every position is better. Patrick Surtain left here because he didn't believe in the run it back 2023 thing.
False.
Yeah.
You're capping.
Yeah.
False.
Yeah. They fired Boyer. For what?
No,
a guy
it had
that,
nothing to do with it.
That literally dealt with the most injuries on that side of the ball.
Surtain even said in an interview, if it was any other coaching job in college football, there's no way in the world I ever would have left. It was the FSU secondary job, secondary or defensive backs.
That's coach. A nice way to say it on camera.
Do you understand FSU defensive backs have been fire in the NFL, like fire, making like the defensive backs that are currently in the NFL that are from FSU are one of the top in all of the NFL. Are you kidding me? It was a top 5 college coaching job as a defensive backs coach or secondary coach.
I'm not buying what they're telling me to read on the newspaper.
Dude, please.
This should be free newspapers. They shouldn't charge us anymore for it.
You're lies.
They're just writing positivity. Hey, Miami Dolphins fans, sign Vic Fangio. They will get the best stat they can find for that guy. And no matter what, that's the stat they're going to talk about it for an hour. Like, come on, let's be real. I'm not saying Vic Fangio's not a better hire, but it's just a higher thing to do so we can get excluded from the biggest problem. Look what the organization is doing
and
to
that's
us.
a lie too. No, Pete. Pete. All right, Pete. Allow me to talk when you make a statement. Here's the
let
problem.
me say this real quick. This is another
you're being disingenuous to the issue or to the moves that they've made. You are sitting here trying to give a narrative to say, hey, the Dolphins made this move to cover up the fact that they haven't addressed this. That's BS.
Okay, but this is you guys' narrative.
They didn't think it would make them better.
With Vic Fangio, check this out. With Vic Fangio, you guys are like, oh, well, he's a great defensive coordinator. He sucks as a head coach. See what I'm saying? So it's because you guys want to run with whatever you guys want to run with. They didn't want to talk about that. But when he was a head coach, he didn't know what to do. His defense wasn't good. His offense stunk. He didn't find anything. He didn't win. What was he? He was a loser, so it's going to feel good. Oh, no, but Pete, just slow down. Because the time that he only handled one side of the ball, he was great. So how is Mike McDaniel great when he's only good at handling one side of the ball? And
we don't know. We don't know that, Pete. Pete, here's the reality.
So now we even have more questions because of this.
You said something. Let me elaborate on it. Let me debate. Let me rebuttal to your statement. Okay? When you make that statement to say, well, Fangio, but the facts are when Fangio is a defensive coordinator only, the numbers shown that his defenses are better compared to when he was a head coach. And by the way, he had some decent success even as the head coach from his defense. It wasn't that. So you're being disingenuous to say, hey, look, we just need to forget, or are we supposed to no, he's not the head coach in Miami. He's the defensive coordinator. His job is to deal with the defense. And track record shows that when Fangio is the defensive coordinator only, he has some of the top defenses in all of the NFL, and he has for the last 20-plus years. Here's the other problem to what you said. You said, well, what are we not supposed to do the same thing with McDaniel? When we went to go on a head coaching search after we got rid of Flores, I said, problem A with getting a first-time head coach is there is a learning curve. They have to learn how to be the head coach of everybody. That's why I have said for years, you either go after a veteran, former head coach in the NFL who's done this before and failed somewhere, or you go with a special teams coach because special teams coaches work with every player on the roster, and they work with all the coaches within the coaching staff, which is why it was all for Darren Rizzi if we weren't going to go after a first-time head coach. Now, with your statement about McDaniel, when it comes to McDaniel, there is a learning curve. We saw that last year. Yes, he made some mistakes. But one of the reasons to get rid of Matt Applebaum and bring in a guy that he knew in the offense and Butch Berry is because he had a relationship with Butch Berry in San Francisco. And he said specifically, one of the reasons I wanted Butch Berry is because Frank Smith, our offensive coordinator, was spending a lot of time in the offensive line room last year. And I need his focus to be on other things to be able to take stuff off my plate so that I can be a head coach and not just an offensive coordinator. So, Pete, when you make a statement like that, understand that he is making the necessary changes to fix the problems that happened last year. So McDaniel's doing everything that he wants to do to make it moving forward. I'm pretty
sure Vic Fangio, Robert Saleh, these defensive-minded coaches who were once head coaches and now head coaches, they're trying their best to get coordinators too. The thing is, a lot of these guys as head coaches are not going to work out. So by you sitting here already letting me know that Mike McDaniel is only a one-side-of-the-ball type coach, it's going to be a total collapse. It's a total collapse happening in front of us.
You want to know why that's false?
Like last year. And it happened last year.
Shut up and listen. Listen, Pete. Who's Bill Belichick? Belichick. No, Pete. Belichick was one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. He won 2 Super Bowls. Dude, he won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants as defensive coordinator. So we're just supposed to throw it out the window because he wasn't a head coach the first time? Are you kidding me? What
But
type
he's
of
done his
does that make?
time.
He
Hello.
no,
You
you
cannot say
listen.
that to a rebuilding new coach.
He was a trash head coach
Oh
at
my
Cleveland.
God.
So because he was a good offensive coordinator and a clown head coach in Cincinnati, which by the way I don't believe that he was, but his win-loss record can make you argue that. You're just not going to you're not going to have him as head coach. Your argument is irrelevant. It's ignorant. It has nothing to do with
That's incorrect. My argument even gets extended now because I could go out and sit. Mike McDaniel comparing to Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick didn't go into a situation, and correct me if I'm wrong, in a team where its Super Bowl window is 2 years. Okay? So Mike McDaniel was here in a team built right now to win a Super Bowl in 2 years, dude. Last year was his first. That's it. He has this year because the problem wasn't the team, Steven. We built a great team. What do we think we have? A Super Bowl roster, right? That's not what you guys believe.
Pete, let me ask
we
you
have
a
one
question.
of the best rosters.
Pete, let me ask you a question. Time out. Pete,
So
listen. Let me rebuttal. Let me rebuttal. Let me rebuttal.
So
Let me rebuttal.
Backwards with a coach that needs to learn how to become a head coach with a team that is fully prepared to win a Super Bowl. Make that make sense, Steven. Please help me out there.
Okay, are you listening? Are you listening? Pete, here's another issue with what you said, bud. Okay. When you're looking at the scheme of things, when it comes to the Dolphins and personnel decisions and coaching staff decisions and how they go about making this window, right? When Flores got fired, okay, we can all agree Flores was a great defensive mastermind. We had one of the best defenses in the NFL that year, okay? Scheme-wise, results-wise, it was 18 straight games, 21 straight games with a defensive turnover. Like it was fun to watch that defense. Nobody's denying that. But where Flores couldn't, and it cannot be debated, where he couldn't happen is getting on the offensive side of the ball. So when they sat down as a unit and said, Greer, Stephen Ross, whoever else is in this decision room, you know what? Here's the problem. We're just going to go ahead and let Flores go because we need to bring in somebody of offensive minded. So they let Flores go, right? They kept his
But
coach.
That wasn't why they let Flores
Let me
go. That's going to bring a big argument.
Let me finish, Pete. So they keep his core of his coaching staff on the defensive side and says, well, if we keep his core of his defensive coaching staff in place, there shouldn't be much drop-off from when him being here and when not. Now, I believe that he was the end-all, be-all and the reason why the defense was as good as they were. I knew that Boyer was not the reason. Now, they thought otherwise. They said they thought that they could keep that intake and keep it moving. So where they said is who gives us the best chance on offense? Well, let's go look and see who's available. Now, when it comes to somebody like Brian Daboll and Doug Peterson, who I believe the Dolphins were looking at as potential head coaches, I believe Doug Peterson said, look, Jacksonville seems to be a better setup. I like Trevor Lawrence more than I do Tua. By the way, who on this panel would take Tua over Trevor Lawrence? I don't think one person would. Trevor Lawrence is the better candidate. Brian Daboll said, hey, look, I'm not going to be forced to put Tua. I know what his limits are. I've worked with them before. I'm going to go with New York Giants, right? So then they said, who is willing that is an offensive mastermind to come here to Miami and help develop Tua or give Tua a real chance? Because the one thing Tua had not gotten up until that point in the NFL was a head coach that fully 100% had his back and gave him a real chance. Good, bad, or indifferent about McDaniel. McDaniel was not getting any other head coaching opportunities. Nobody else was interviewing him as a head coaching candidate, but Miami was, because he was open to the idea of, hey, I can work with Tua. I can make Tua a success. I can make this offense a success. Here's what I think I would need to go do that. Give me a Deebo Samuel site, a real number one wide receiver. Let's go do it. So he goes ahead. He signs the deal as the head coach. He makes Tua feel, oh my God, this guy really has my back. He's making me feel like I can do it. By the way, Tua's numbers show that worked. Whether he stayed on the field or not is irrelevant. It worked. So when you talk about Mike McDaniel, you have to understand a few things. Number one, there is a learning curve, which I've already said before. And there's a learning curve with first-time head coaches. He saw the mistakes that he made last year. He's making those changes, and he's doing it to his best ability of making the team be a successful team moving forward. Would he have been my first candidate to be the head coach of this team? No, but he's the guy who we got, and it's the guy that I'm 100% on board with them making this team a Super Bowl contender, and I think his offensive mind is going to prevail a lot better than it did last year because he has Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator, and he doesn't have to worry about that. So, yes, are you probably right about the punting aspect, that they didn't give a shit about Thomas Morstead? Yes, 100%. They feel as though, why pay Thomas Morstead all this money when I don't want to be punting this year anyway? We'll go out and get somebody that still has good numbers for half the fucking price. So they did that, Pete. And I'm telling you right now, McDaniel's the best person to run this franchise currently as is. You might not like the fact that they have Tua as their starting quarterback. You might not like the fact that Tua has all this injury history. But the reality
I
of
don't. I hate it.
This man is the best person to make this franchise a winner.
Everything you just said,
you're being disingenuous. You're lying to yourself.
No. What you just admitted was something I already know, where the shoe is being shoved down our throats with Tua. It is what it is. Skylar Thompson is the better quarterback, but they're forcing it with Tua. Simple and plain. Go ahead, Shake comes in beautiful. Look at this guy. Have the floor, sir. Real quick, I'm sorry, Shake. Steven, I think I'm the only one that could work you up like this. Just know I love you as much as I love my Dolphins. Go ahead, Shake.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's another beautiful day in Zamunda. How y'all doing?
What's good, Shake?
What's going on, Shake? What's in the blender?
Oh, you know, whiskey and honey.
Okay, sounds tasty.
And ayahuasca, plenty of ayahuasca.
I'll take that.
You feel better, Steven?
No, my blood pressure is through the roof. I can feel my blood boiling. You got me there, Pete. You got me there because I was so mad.
No, you got me. You got me.
I'm not gonna lie.
The chat
Steven,
might be saying you cooked me. I believe the chat is saying you cooked me.
No, Stephen D. I was in disgust when you was going on there. Like this is the state of the fan base that I always feel sad about. Because it's like we love mediocrity. Really? He's the best guy for us to really?
So if you go back and listen to my show, which I know you listen from time to time, Brian, what did I say this year? I said, look, the best option for this quarterback, for this team is Tom Brady. Tom Brady retired, right? Because he didn't have to cost anything. He wasn't going to ask for a bag. And he had top 5 passer rating last year in all of the NFL. Even on one of his worst years in his last 5 years, he still was up there, right? And he played all the games. So you upgrade the offensive line, you bring it, which I think you would have with Brady. He would have. Now Brady said, I'm retiring. All right, fine, so be it. You go retire. What's the next option? Well, then it comes to Lamar and Aaron Rodgers. Well, good, bad, or indifferent, no matter what you think, there's a lot of sacrifice with going to get those two guys. Draft picks, paying them the bag. Maybe it's going to handcuff you in other places, whatever the case is.
So you want to be cheap.
Time out. You also, I'm just giving you, I'm responding to your thing. And then you say, okay, well, if it's Aaron Rodgers, what does he have? 1 or 2 more years left most? Am I willing to give all this up for a guy that might play 1 or 2 more years and is not still guaranteed to get me over the hump and into a Super Bowl, who, by the way, is coming off a down season off of his 3 prior seasons before that? And we saw what happened with Russell Wilson when he came off a down season, his last season in Seattle, with 3 prior years of being decent before that. We saw what happened in Denver. I'm sure that was in the back of their mind. Okay, well, what about Lamar? Well, hey, look, Lamar has a former MVP of this league. But the last 2 years, he's been hurt more than Tua has. Am I willing to sink all this money and trade up all this?
Hold on, wait there. You're not going to use that narrative.
You can debate me.
Hold on. Let me debunk that narrative right quick.
You can rebuttal in a minute.
Hold on.
You can rebuttal in a minute, Brian. Hold on, buddy.
That's nonsense you're saying.
Okay. So then they say, okay, Tua at the moment only pays $8 or $9 million. I can work my way of making this defense elite, add some more pieces on the offense, whatever they may be.
Don't you have an elite defensive coordinator?
What's the point of the elite defensive coordinator? Everybody got to be elite.
You can rebuttal me in a second, Brian. So then they make all these changes on the defensive side. They do a big splash, getting Jalen Ramsey, bringing in David Long, redoing the linebacking room, and we know the defensive scheme is going to be different. Bringing in Deshaun Elliott, and on the offensive side, yes, they haven't addressed the O-line as much as I would like to yet, but they have made a change or two there, and they decided to run it back on the running back side because McDaniel believes that minus the injuries, with a better defense and putting more focus on where I have the mistakes, even if it's the same personnel, I can win a Super Bowl with this team.
That's nonsense. You're not winning it with Jeff Wilson or Raheem Mostert in the backfield.
Tua gives us right now. Tua's the best option.
You need to go draft a running back, or you need to look. If you got Tua, we got Ryan Tannehill 2.0. Go get Derrick Henry. Why we keep playing around with this? You're saying that Tua's already limited, and you need a super team. We need a USA all-time team. So why not just go all the way in?
But what
the nonsense, Stephen D.
What do you mean a super team?
You got to have a super team for Tua. That's what you just said.
You're correct, Brian. You're correct.
Go look at the last. Let's go look at the last 5 Super Bowl winners. Did they not have beast on offense and defensive sides of the ball? What is Patrick Mahomes? He's like maybe he's the exception to the rule because he's the best quarterback of the league, bar none. But go look at some of these teams that have won Super Bowls the last few years.
Well, also
they all have 2 or 3 all-stars and number ones on their team on the offense and defensive side of the ball.
By the way, to be fair, Patrick Mahomes has coaching though. You know what I mean? He's had Andy Reid's been coaching since leather helmet.
No, well, that's you. I'll do you one better and say the word "shake money." He's had consistency from his coaching, whether it's good coaching or whatever. I mean, they've won Super Bowl, so I guess you say it is good coaching, but it's been consistent.
No, bro, he took
different offensive coordinator every year. He's played college football and professional football.
Andy Reid took Philadelphia with 4 state NFC championships, and that's when it was a harder game too. It was more physical.
100%. 100%.
You see what type of team he had? Be for real.
So Brian, I feel like that statement, not you in general, but that statement is such a.
What are you talking about? The team he had in Philadelphia, Rashad?
If you're gonna create this,
they wasn't bad team. They should have beat the Eagles in one of those games. I mean, they should have beat the Patriots.
If you're gonna create this,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was a dope ass team. And
You know
they should have won that game with McNabb.
He knew what he's doing, though. That's what I'm saying. Andy Reid knows what he's doing.
I don't believe in this team at all.
Juan, you don't believe in this team at all? Why not, Juan?
Listen to me, all respect, man. I believe if we don't got an offensive line, I believe Tua is not going to last no more than 5 games. Real facts. I had a dream last night that he's not going to pass no more than 5 games, and we're going to be the same situation again with no QB on the air.
He just got a premonition.
You didn't have to dream this reality.
This is some.
You can't play a full season.
This is some Final Destination here.
Hey, Juan, but let me ask you something. I hear your reservations.
Whoa.
I hear your I don't want to go full in because this offensive line issue. But Juan, can you not admit that some of the other moves that the Dolphins have made have been money?
It's money, but for what? If you don't got the blockers.
Look at Pete.
Chucky.
To Chucky want to play?
Hey, we don't got Michael Vick, Papa. We don't got no Michael Vick, Papa.
Can you repeat it? Can you repeat it, Juan? Please.
We don't have an offensive line.
What did you say?
I like that, Pete.
I cannot breathe right now. I cannot breathe right now. Repeat what you said when you first started talking, please.
We do not have an offensive line. We don't have Michael Vick on the team, people. We need an offensive line. For what? For what?
Hey, but you know what, though, guys, fellas? We're looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Because you can take a guy that's played right tackle ever since Pop Warner. He played right tackle all through junior high, high school, and everything. But he's never played. I guarantee you that guy.
Be easy on the cat, Shake Money. Be easy on the cat.
Right tackle or left-handed quarterback. You know, we're asking a right tackle who's not used to protecting a blind side to come in and do something that he's never done all of his life. And he could be a Pro Bowl right tackle, but chances are, you look at his resume, He's never protected a quarterback's blind side. The steps are
He
totally
ain't never
different.
went up against an elite defensive end. He's never
That's
seen
what
a
I'm talking
Khalil
about,
Mack.
Rashad.
He's never seen
We're
a
looking
Bosa.
for like literally the silver bullet. This guy has to be one of one because I can't think of one that we've seen before. That's a right tackle that can literally protect a quarterback's blind side. He's a one of one. Very hard to find.
And to Steven's point, hold on, let me get this out real quick. To Steven's point,
is it
all of
logical?
y'all are arguing that we should go get the guy. And what Steven is saying is Tua or Brady was the only players that could allow us to build our teams because of the amount of money they cost. We go get the guy, we can't make these moves. We're not a Super Bowl team just because we're gonna get Lamar Jackson. Because that's taking money away from
What do you mean?
we don't listen.
We're not a Super Bowl team. We not.
Listen, there's no Ramsey. We don't get an offensive
You're correct,
line.
man. You're correct.
You didn't have Ramsey with the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens pass defense is fucking terrible. And they've been in the playoff every other year. Stop the nonsense.
Can you listen? We don't get an offensive line, Terry. Brian Terry. We don't get an offensive line.
We didn't have an offensive line for how many years?
You're correct.
What do you mean? We didn't have an offensive line last year. We didn't have an offensive line the year after. What are you talking about here? But Josh Moore's the problem?
If you will
Josh Moore's the problem, but for how many years the offensive line been bad?
I'm gonna let you have it. Go ahead.
Which is a cop-out, scapegoat. Call the real issue out.
What's the real issue, Brian Terry? Watch this.
You seen the man get 3 concussions. You seen the man is extremely fragile, and you talk about you want to run it back with Austin Jackson and Liam Mike.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, Brian Terry.
Good facts.
None of that man injuries had anything to do with the line.
He had
which makes it worse,
bro.
Which makes it worse?
Brian Terry.
Is it your birthday, Jake?
Brian Terry. Tua was fragile. He had 3 concussions and played on 2 of them.
Shake Money, is it your birthday?
Finished the game. But he's fragile.
Yes, sir.
To your point.
Come on, Rashad. If you don't know he's extremely fragile, oh my God.
That's why I'm home.
This is to your point. I'm going off your point.
How old are you?
He's fragile. He had 3 concussions.
Everybody
knows
he's fragile and luckless. Everybody knows it.
I'm going off those $45 donations.
Wait a minute, which other concussion he played? We talking about the Buffalo Bills game?
Hey, Brian.
The Bills game.
Terry,
you talking about the Bills? Okay.
The Bills and the Packers game.
And the Packers game. Okay.
Brian's
He played 2 concussions.
I can arguably say 3 because he played against the Bengals. His concussion just got worse. I can say 3, but I'm not gonna take it that far. It took him.
You talking about just by starting and playing in the first half of the Bengals game?
It took him being unconscious. I'll go.
Take a break.
Right.
Tua got hurt in college with the best offensive line. Stop the cat, Rashad.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
What's that Nick Saban's fault, Steven? Wasn't that Nick Saban's fault he got hurt by putting him in there, making him run?
Hey, by the way,
I heard it was Nick Saban's fault.
I just want to say that with this team that we have right now, this time next year, if we're at 9-8, I don't want to hear nothing about strength of schedule. We're supposed to be not beaten, but we're supposed to be competitive with every team we're facing. So no excuses on strength of schedule. That's correct about that.
You're right, Shake Money. That is correct. There's no excuse.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is Shake Money's birthday today. So
happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
That's in the blender.
He turned 45 today, so we are taking all $45 donations for the rest of the day. As a matter of fact, if you want to do a $50 a day ban, I will make it $45, and I will have it. It can be used as a coupon for the future. So if you do a $45 donation for Shake Money's birthday today, I will allow you to use it as a coupon in the future for any one person for a day ban. So valid today only. The offer's today only. There you go. You good with that, Shake?
Hey, sure, baby. By the way, thanks, Concrete and Scott Jackson for the much appreciated.
For Shake Money's birthday, that means he gets unlimited swear jar.
Shake Money's birthday, I will allow him unlimited swear jar too.
Well, I don't curse that much. I don't
curse, so it doesn't matter. That's why I said
It don't matter, right? You get a freebie. You get a freebie, Shake Money. We get a freebie one for you. Hey, what's so? Hey, so you said the blender for this week? The blender. What's it for the blender? What's the special? What's the special sauce this week?
Oh yeah, this Thursday I do a show on Larry K. Larry K is gracious enough to give me the keys to the kingdom while he's gone, and you know me, we've been doing panel shows on there from time to time on Larry K's channel. But this Thursday I'm going to be doing an interview with Vic Coaster.
Okay, Vic. Okay.
Yeah, Vic Coaster. Yeah, he's coming on.
Yeah, Vic's a good guy. Yeah, Vic's cool.
It was supposed to be me, but I didn't get back to him in a timely manner.
No, you're up. You're in there somewhere, but you know what I'm saying.
Shame on you, Steven.
I know.
Hey, Crypto
Bottom of the deck.
was on the show. Crypto was on the show.
Bottom of the deck.
And by the way,
Steven.
This is open.
I was
to
on there.
Everybody who wants to come
You're
on.
cooler than I am, Crypto. I thought we already established this.
But anybody who wants to come on and do an interview, we'll talk about the good old. It's like a throwback Thursday show. You know what I mean? We'll do a little bit of today's talk too. But basically, what I do is talk to the person why they became a Dolphin fan, and what's your favorite Dolphin memory. You know, kind of like renewing our vows to the team and find out why we fell in love with the team in the first place. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it.
So,
look at me supporting. I think we should all support everybody's show and channel. I love it. I don't like your Florida Gators thing in the back, but it's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good, Shake.
I don't like your game stuff either, but hey, we all say la vie.
Hey man, their basketball team. Let's go, Sweet 16, cuz.
Oh, yeah, that's
all
what's
about
up,
it.
man.
How about
I appreciate it. Hey.
What are you gonna do today?
Shit, nothing. I'm off work today. That's
there you go. You use the no swear jar.
It's good to have a day off when you on your birthday. That's the best.
No, you're fine. You know swear jar for you. You can say whatever the hell you want.
But no,
hey, just get some.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Shake Money. Just get some AJ with your E and J, some apple juice with your Jerk.
Oh no, I'm too old to drink E and J. It's either Kvassier or Henny or nothing.
Pass Kvassier. Everybody singing now.
Yeah, that'll work. I found the Jamesons and all the dark liquors. I gotta have my AJ with it. Gotta have my AJ.
Hey Pete, get a scratch off and do it up here on the show, Pete. Guys, go check out Pete's channel too. So Pete has a channel where he does scratch offs.
Yeah, he does, man. Where my money at, Pete?
I watched it the other day. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was good. It's a good episode.
I don't gamble. You guys know that, but I wanted to support his channel, so I went and looked. It was pretty good. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
All right. Final thoughts of the day.
South Florida.
Ask the Finn. Final thought of the day. Mike White power. Final thought of the day. This is pretty good, Ask the Finn. I will give it.
That's a good play on words.
Play on words, Esther.
If you have hate in your heart, let it out.
Let it
out. Power.
With you. For those of you, he is definitely quoting Dave Chappelle. So there was no hate there. It was a joke. God.
It was.
All right, G. Final thought of the day, G. Take yourself off mute, G.
And you know I'm on the cricket Wi-Fi, man, so it might bounce in and out. But man, there are two things that would make me so happy with the Miami Dolphins, man, and it's two moves. The one on offense would be go ahead and get Derrick Henry, put a pride to the side, put him onto his right hip, and keep him there. Tell him, hey man, anything Austin Jackson misses, you pick up. We can run the play action to the right. Running backs like to run to the right, 2, 4, and 6. It's a win-win. Just go get him. The second one is on defense, and that's Bobby Wagner. Plug him in the middle at linebacker. We can move long wherever we got to do it, but definitely it will make us a whole lot better team, man, and we'll be a whole lot more physical, just those two pieces. Hey, I appreciate y'all letting me be up here. Happy birthday, Shake Money, and I'm out, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, Crypto, final thought of the day.
Yeah, happy birthday, Shake Money.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy many more, man. And Stephen D, it's gonna be a fun ride. These next 3, what we got? What is it? March? 6 months. we got a nice little ride till
We
September.
got a lot of positivity to spread for the next 6 months, crypto.
Yeah, a lot of positivity. 6 months, man. Gonna be a dandy. Yeah. Chris Greer seemed to make all the positive people mad, and then he made all the mad people positive. See, no, either way you go, man, you're gonna get unification. Only Chris Greer is the culprit, Stephen D. Did you know that? It's not Tua.
Why is he the culprit?
Chris
I didn't
Greer.
think he was. Why? I thought it was Stephen Ross.
All of the people that wanted positivity was happy with Greer. Now it's the other way around. All the negative become positive because we settled on what we got right now. So Greer is fine. You see, it's a paradigm shift, Stephen. That's what happened. The two universes have collided. The positive versus the antimatter versus matter. It just collided. What do you get? Yes. What do you get when you collide the two universes?
I don't know, but I watched.
You get a black hole. You might get a black hole.
That's something else, man. Something else.
We got a warp. We got to warp to that Super Bowl. Go through that black hole, and we'll come out somewhere good on the other side. Ain't that right, Shake Money? That should be your next mix. That should be your next drink. Call it the black hole.
All right, I'll work on that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be doing cocktails on the Finn's Tailgate Saturday nights, and as a matter of fact, that's gonna be the second drink I'm gonna be working on. I'll work on that one for you.
The black hole.
For you. Yeah, just for my man, Crypto.
No, what you need to call it. You need to call it the gaslighter. This here is the gaslighter. Name
the gaslight. There you go. Yeah, give a second one. You call it gaslight. The gaslighter. And then you can set it on fire, strike a match to it or something, and it goes up in flames. There you go.
Oh, for sure. I got you, Crypto. I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do a black hole and then a gaslighter just for you, my brother.
The gaslighter. There we go. I like it. All right, Crypto. Get out of here. Love you, buddy.
All right. Yeah,
you're never getting any hot dogs ever again.
Yes.
No.
It's counting. The clock is ticking, Steven.
Interest does not happen on hot dogs.
That interest is looking pretty bad for you, Steven.
See you later, buddy. All right, I got one person in the back who's coming off of his 10-minute timeout. Brian, your final thought of the day, bud. Take yourself off mute.
I know Dolphins fans right now. I know you guys are sad. I know you guys want to give up. I know you guys.
We're not sad, Brian. We're happy.
Where to go?
We're positive,
but
Brian.
I'm right here for you guys because, Lamar Jackson still haven't got, taken off yet. So we still got hope. And Tom Brady, he's still out there. So, we're not getting Aaron Rodgers. He's going to the Jets. But
who cares?
I just want you Dolphins fans to stay encouraged because Chris.
We are encouraged, bud. We're Super Bowl favorites right now.
Huh?
We are Super Bowl contenders and Super Bowl favorites.
Wasn't you Super Bowl favorites last year?
No, we weren't. This year we are.
Yes. So that's my final thought. I'm giving encouragement to Dolphins fans all around the world that
we don't need your encouragement, Brian. We don't need it.
We'll finally get a real quarterback.
You go somewhere with your negativity. Don't need that negativity here on Spread Positivity Mondays, Brian.
Derrick Henry to Miami. If we're gonna go with fragile quarterback to anybody, I don't care what quarterback we have. Derrick Henry would be great. So yeah, we should get him.
Get out of here. I love you, bro. Be good, man.
Thanks up.
All righty. Before I let the guy whose birthday it is today, I just want to remind you today's line of the day, courtesy of G. Quote, thoughts cannot defeat thoughts. G. I love it. It is the line of the day on Clock Blockers. Thoughts cannot defeat thoughts. I love it. It is my favorite line I have ever heard. And I definitely tweeted it. It's pretty good. All right, man. Final thought of the day, Shake.
All right,
And encourage these people out here to hit the like button, to donate, do all that. Let's go. Do your thing, Shake. The floor is yours.
Hey, listen, man. If you want a place to come and talk Dolphin fans, we need to support it. Because, like I told you before, if you go to if we make a Dolphins bar and don't buy drinks and don't tip the waiters, that Dolphin bar ain't gonna exist anymore. So that's why you need donations, so we can have a place like this and speak our minds. This is for the fans, by the fans, right? Am I right, Stephen D?
You've never been more right in your life, Shake. In your 45 years of existence, you have never been more right than you are right now.
But I'd like to give a shout out to the Fins Tailgate for allowing me to do some shows this Saturday. I'm going to be doing mixed drinks, and I have a big project that's going to be coming up in the Fins Tailgate. I'm not going to say, but we'll be talking. And then this Thursday, I'm going to be on Larry K's channel. I shout out to Larry K for allowing me to do my own little show there. You know what I mean? I'm going to be doing Vic Coaster, and I'm going to be highlighting the 72 Dolphins in my opening monologue.
There we go.
Because I'm going to be pouring this. This is the 50-year anniversary edition to Rum Flor de Caña. I'm going to be doing that with Vic Coaster. I'm toasting him. And secondly, when I'm on, by the way, I'm going to tease. I have opening monologue, kind of like a highlight for different guests, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I get you on there, it's not when I get you in the blender with me, I'm going to be highlighting the cancer challenge, how it got started, where it's at now, because the theme is it's spread kindness and positivity, and that's what I think of when I think of you, Stephen D.
I appreciate it, man. That's what I try to do, man. I've been trying to do that for a long time. I tell people all the time, like, I don't think that you could have the moniker of Spread Kindness or Mr. Spread Kindness if you truly didn't believe in it or tried to throw it out there. I love everybody. I think everybody has something to offer. I love everybody's outlet, and I think everybody's outlet and medium. And what I mean by that, YouTube channels, Twitter, whatever. I think everybody that deals with the Dolphins has something to offer. Whether they tweet, whether they're a fan and they just listen, whether they have their own show, whether they have multiple shows, whether they're on one platform, 20 platforms, whatever, everybody has something to offer. And there is somebody there for everybody, right? Like, I love stand-up comedy. I said last Friday, I was like, not all stand-ups for everybody. Not all Dolphins YouTubers are for everybody. Yeah, but exactly. I do believe that there needs to be a positive swing, or a positive and kindness swing within it. And so that's all I try to elaborate on. And look, it's spreading like wildfire. Look at Lewis and El Capitan now. I've rubbed off on them. No pun intended. Okay. We're not going to go there about the jokes, but I've rubbed off on them. No pun intended.
Yeah, they've been like I said, I've been around them for a while, and they have been coming around. They have been doing a little bit more positive.
Miracles. I'm going to look out my window and see if pigs are flying later. But
no, I appreciate you giving everybody format. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know who Nando Talk was. I wouldn't know who Alex Dona was. I wouldn't know who Cameron 954 was. So you help expose people that I wouldn't normally know who they were.
Look, man, that's part of what I want to do, right? Like same, I feel like similarly to Chef Zhu, I was able to expose a lot of great, wonderful fans to Chef Zhu, right? I need to worry about how I'm saying stuff, not expose Chef Zhu, to open up the door for people to know who Chef Zhu is, and people like you, people like Lewis, and obviously, it was, able to blow up and to do other things, and that's exciting. That's what I like. I like the fans coming together and being a part of something that is beautiful and wonderful. And that's what, like this weekend, as I have stuff falling off of my shelf. This weekend I was in DC, getting stuff ready for the awesome, which I hope to see you at, Shake, if you can make it, the FedEx Takeover in Washington, DC this year, or in Philadelphia at the Philly Finvasion, or in Baltimore at the Baltimore Beatdown. We were in
actually, I have a cousin that lives in that area, the Baltimore area. He lives by the he's in the Navy, so he has I guess wherever the naval base is, that's where he works out of. So he lives in Baltimore, the Baltimore area. He lives like by the airport, one of the airports.
Okay.
In Baltimore. I might go visit him for the week, whatever, and just go to one of the games.
Well, look, man, you let me know. I think it'd be good stuff. I'm excited about it.
Sure.
But I can't wait to be on your show, man. Keep doing your thing. Happy birthday, man. Enjoy the day.
You, much appreciated, my brother.
Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. It's a long list. I love you, Shake. Be good, buddy.
Love you too, bro. Be safe. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes an awesome, amazing show today on Monday. I wasn't planning on doing a panel. I guess I'm glad I did. You know, we were at 200 people before the start of the panel, and then it went down. It just went down. Can't do panels every day, guys. But tomorrow's Hot Take Tuesday should be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. And, yeah, we're going to get the ball rolling on Hot Take Tuesday. Nando Talk, myself, should be a lot of fun. We're going to be talking draft, free agency. We're going to get a lot of stuff going. It's going to be good stuff. So I love you all. You're all the best fans in the world. I can't wait to see what's going on over this week. Tomorrow's Hot Take Tuesday, Spread Wildin' Out Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, and Spread Kindness Friday. Right here, weekday mornings on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Peace.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fence for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro.